Hello and what's up, GSC Pokemon Challenges channel members? How you guys doing? It's the second members only live stream here on the channel. Hope you guys pop and do enjoy this one with me. We're going to be running our Lucky Egg Chansey in this one, which I think is going to be a whole lot of fun. And I have some shenanigans planned for this because we've already done a bunch of these Pokemon in the series with special held items. Of course, we did the Thick Club Marowak, the Light Ball Pikachu, the Stick Farfetch'd, the Lucky Punch Chansey. This is our first held item that is technically not restricted to just this Pokemon. It could be used by all kinds of different things, and its effect, of course, is to boost the amount of experience that you get as you go through the game. I think it basically makes it like your Pokemon is a traded Pokemon, but without the disobedience, which is going to be very interesting to see. But in all of these runs so far, I have given my Pokemon special moves because Chansey's starting moveset of Pound and Growl is really not that good on this Pokemon because we have the lowest attack stat in the entire game with only 5 base attack. So it kind of stands to reason that the best thing that we could do is to give this Pokemon some additional moves. But I don't want to just go out of my way to immediately just give it overpowered moves, at least not willy-nilly. I was trying to think, how could I do this in a way that's actually interesting? Well, we're gonna let luck decide what moveset we give our Pokemon. In Gen 2, Chansey has a lot of moves. These are all of its level up moves, of course, and then we've got all of the TM moves that this Pokemon can learn, and then we've got 3 egg moves that are possible. We can get Heal Bell, Metronome, or Present on this Pokemon. So what I have done is I have taken most of these moves and slapped them into this right here. This spinner that's just an online, spinner that anybody could go on and use. But basically, I've just entered pretty much all of the moves of Chansey in Gen 2, with a couple of exceptions. I did not put Sweet Scent because that is exclusively an event move, and you couldn't have, a breeded Pokemon that had the event move. So, that is what it is. I also haven't put on any Gen 1 moves that are only available via Gen 1 through trade-ups, since this is, a Gen 2 Pokemon effectively. And the other thing is that I've taken off some moves that I felt were just kind of cheap or that, are redundant with other moves. Like Double Team is both cheap and this Pokemon gets minimized via level up. So we're not going to put Double Team and minimize and have like a double chance of having an evasion move, though that would be kind of hilarious to have 2 evasion moves. Same thing with Rest. We get soft boiled, so why the heck would we ever want to use Rest on this Pokemon? And yeah, outside of that, Toxic's not on there. I think Attract is not on there because, again, I just kind of find those to be cheap moves. I also didn't put Curse on here. Again, I don't even think that's necessarily a good move for a Chansey. We'd much rather just have the Defense Curl, I think. So what we're going to do, we are going to spin the wheel 4 times and choose our 4 starting moves based on the spins. And I don't know, this isn't pre-programmed other than just putting everything in the wheel. So we're just going to take the first 4 that we get, unless you guys really want to protest for some reason. So let's go. And the first move on our Chansey shall be, we have gotten, I think, Light Screen. Yes. Okay. Well, Light Screen kind of makes sense. I mean, it's going to just, make us even more of a special tank. So that is what it is. So there we go. Through the magic of Game Hook, I have changed my very first move to be Light Screen. Now let's find out what else we get. I hope we get an attacking move. This would be terrible if we get no attacking moves here. I have everything in there, like Zap Cannon, Dynamic Punch, Pound is in there, Double Edge is in there, and we're getting Mud Slap. Oh, this could be terrible. Oh, this could be a mistake. But, I guess we're just kind of role-playing as if we have already beaten Faulkner. So now let's see what else comes in. We are spinning for our 3rd move right now. Let's see what we actually get. Please not Mud Slap. Oh, we get Sing. Okay. Sing is good. That will allow us to put opponents to sleep. So by the powers of Game Hook, I hereby imbue you with Sing. Yes. So we've got 3 moves. We do have a damage dealing move in Mud Slap, but that will not help us in the first gym. So yeah, we're definitely going to need something. Number 4. Please give me a strong move. Please. Just one strong move. We get Dream Eater. Hey. Okay, I feel a little bit better now. Here's the reason why. Dream Eater is going to allow us to hit ghosts effectively. Dream Eater is a special move. Dream Eater works with the Sing that we got. It would have been terrible if we got Dream Eater and not Sing. That would have actually been kind of terrible. But here, I mean, we're going to be lucky. We're going to be trying to lower accuracy with Mud Slap. We're going to be trying to put our opponents to sleep. We're going to be trying to use Dream Eater, and I guess Light Screen might be used somewhere. So Murkrow. Not sure what the Murkrow is about, but you know, we're running that Lucky Punch or Lucky Egg Chansey today. That is the plan, and we have officially gotten our move set. So we are running Chansey. Of course, it has the lowest attack and defense stats in the entire game. The special attack is at least meh. Same for speed, but we do have special defense and we do have HP, and now we've got Light Screen to make ourselves super defensive, and we have that fast growth rate to go together with the Lucky Egg. We are going to be running a Max DV's Chansey, same as the other Pokemon in this series with the unique held items, just because I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm not saying we're stuck with only these moves the entire run. I'm just saying this is our starting move set, and the fact that we're not really going to get any new moves for a while that are actually good, we may be learning Double Slap. I'm just saying, we may be learning Double Slap for a Murkrow, but yeah, still fair argument. So I think there's nothing to do but to get into this and start a brand new game and just see how this Lucky Egg Chansey goes. What I'm really interested to see is just how high of a level do we actually get to, because of course we just did the Lucky Punch Chansey on the channel. The reason I decided to do this as a live stream for you guys is because I'm just going to edit this up later and throw it up on the main channel, but it's going to be like a month from now that this is actually released there because I have too many videos before that. But yeah, we're just going to see how it actually goes. Anyway, as we step into Professor Elm's laboratory, he is going to give us the luckiest Chansey that we have ever gotten, one that levels up faster than any other Pokemon in the game. Now we have to decide what Pokemon to go up against. I don't think we go up against the Bayleaf because, you know, the Chikorita Bayleaf line, because they're just gonna use special moves like, you know, Razor Leaf on us, and we're gonna resist those pretty well. So I think the best is for us to go with the Cyndaquil Ball and go up against the Totodile team. So by going up against the Totodile team, we will guarantee that we're getting more physical moves throughout the run. So anyway, we have gotten our Lucky Egg Chansey. His name is Hard Boiled because this might be hard. That was what I was expecting. But now we have some moves. Lucky Egg, Light Screen, Mud Slap, Sing, and Dream Eater, all randomly selected at the start of this run. Now I am going to unlock these moves now that they're in, just to make sure that we can actually learn other moves as we go through the run. The Lucky Egg, on the other hand, will not be possible to replace. No matter what we do, we're stuck with the Lucky Egg forever. So yeah, let's get into this and just see. I'm kind of nervous because Chansey is always kind of random. The whole issue with Chansey, I was looking back at the Minimum Battles series. It failed in the section where we were just about to get to Faulkner's Pidgeotto. So just before the Pidgeotto, we were using Struggle to get through the first Pokemon, and then it leveled up and learned Tail Whip. And that's what meant that it could not progress on Minimum Battles, because it learned Tail Whip right there. Struggle strats were no longer an option. You couldn't use up all the Tail Whips before you simply got knocked out by the Pidgeotto every time. Here, however, I'm just interested to see what level we actually get to going into Faulkner's battle, because it might be a situation where technically you could actually beat him on Minimum Battles with the Lucky Egg on, but I definitely think we have a chance here with Sing plus the Dream Eater. Anyway, let's just test this all out. We've got the Rival 1 fight in front of us. We've got that Totodile. The strategy, I'm going to Sing because Dream Eater is our best move by far, and once we use it, it looks like it's going to be a 3-hit KO on this Pokemon, and it stays asleep, so we easily get through the Rival 1 fight and get to level 6 right there. But what do we name our rival? Sorry guys, I need you guys to drop some ideas. Egghead is awesome. Okay, I've got 2 Eggheads. All right, we're going Egghead. So let's just get the Egghead in here. Oops, Egghead. I swear I can spell, guys. Acceptable. Cool. Let's go. So we're up against an egghead here as we try to run through the entire game. Oh, this is silly, stupid. Appreciate you guys. That was a very good idea. So here we will, accidentally do the catch tutorial. I thought it was holding my auto B button, but hey, that is what it is. Now, this is the only spot where I will have wild Pokemon in this entire run. Generally, I just turn them off because it just takes time. We're not trying to fight them anyway, but I will try to catch this Centret here. And sometimes he's a bit of a troll, but I just don't want to accidentally like knock it out. I could sing, I guess, in order to make it more likely to be caught. But with that Pokemon now in the bag, we are going to progress in the game, knowing that we have a Pokemon to use things like Cut and Dig with, as well as Surf, of course. And after that, we shouldn't need to get any more wild Pokemon until the Red Gyarados. The Red Gyarados will be our other kind of primary, HM Pokemon. So now let's go ahead and just get through. We're going to stay on minimum battles as much as I think is reasonable. If we ever reach a point where I feel like it's unreasonable, we will start taking optional battles at that point. Here against youngster Mikey, though, I think there's no reason to take any optional battles. We just need to actually put this Pokemon to sleep, which Sing is only 55% accurate, so that could be a problem. And honestly, like, I feel like Dream Eater and Sing should be like up at the top of the list, and I feel like Light Screen should be at the bottom because we're almost never going to use that move. So very nice. We just two-shot there against the Rattata after we actually managed to get it to sleep, and we're ready to move on in the game. So at this point, we are at level 7 as we get ready to go up into Falkner's gym on minimum battles. That means that we're going to have to take on Honest Abe right here, probably about the same level as we normally would be. I forget if we were at level 6 or level 7 coming in last time. We definitely level up within those first 2 fights though, so I'm not sure that the Lucky Egg is making that big of an impact yet, but let's just see how this fight actually goes. So Honest Abe, attempt number 1. Normally you'd come in here with a berry. You would be hoping to use some growls together with Pound in order to get through. But here our strategy is to go Sing. Once we have Sing on, we're going to go for the Dream Eater. And this looks to be a 3-hit KO. We did 9 damage with the first hit. So we didn't quite get the same range on the second hit. So it's actually going to be a 4-hitter there. And we have to put this Pokemon back to sleep when it wakes up. And it has to stay asleep if we're going to win. But we do. We get it on the first attempt. We level up to level 8. I'm going to pop out and heal just because of the fact that we're on low health. Like, yeah, I could go ahead and like slap on some potions, but I'm going to save them for later. Maybe in a spot where we're not as close to a Pokemon Center. So now we can take on Rod. This one shouldn't be hard as long as Sing lands. Obviously, these Pokemon are weaker than the first Spearow. In fact, they're just 2-hit KOs with our Dream Eater. But now we can see we level up to level 9 right here. So we are leveling up faster than we were in the previous run. In the previous run, even with the fast level up group, we didn't level up to level 9 until after Falkner's first Pidgey. So we would actually have better odds here. We'd still have to find a way to, use up our PP or something here, or pound these Pokemon down, but definitely better than what we were looking at in the minimum battle series. So here, I'm still just going to knock these Pokemon out with our Dream Eater. Of course, we're not going to learn Tail Whip, and Rod goes down easily on the first attempt. So now it's time to get into Falkner and just see how we do with this setup. I think we're going to be just fine, but let's see. Falkner, of course, leads off with his level 7 Pidgey. It's just almost the same as the last 2 Pokemon that we fought with Rod. We can put it to sleep and go Dream Eater, and this also appears to be a 2-hit KO. It wakes up and misses a tackle, but then it hits us with the next one after we miss Sing. Still, we get it back to sleep, and we can take it down on the next turn, getting to level 10. So we're 1 level higher than we normally would be here. We get Gust from Pidgeotto. It's not doing that much, though. We're just missing the Sings. Once we finally hit and it stays asleep, Dream Eater here did 13 damage. This is a 3-hit KO, so we just need it to stay asleep 1 more turn, and there we go. We get Falkner on minimum battles with our Lucky Egg Chansey. Very nice. It's probably, a given the fact that we had Sing and we had Dream Eater. Those were just lucky rolls, guys. Like, don't get me wrong, I was kind of crossing my fingers for something like Thunderbolt here because I did have that in the list. Oh, and I got to get my egg. What are you talking about? Come on. What kind of egg Pokemon are we when we're not even picking up the egg from the assistant? But yeah, basically, I was really hoping that we would get a better move for Falkner than this, but Dream Eater plus Sing could actually be incredibly overpowered on this Pokemon. assuming that we can just get the luck to keep opponents asleep. I'm going to be kind of worried when we get to Jasmine, though. Just not going to lie. That Mud Slap is definitely not going to do enough damage there to make this, like, consistent by any means. We have made it now to Azalea Town. We are ready to go into the Slowpoke well. I don't know why I picked up Poison Cure Berry there. Sorry. Poison Cure Berry. Trash. We don't need that extra item. Rip. I keep forgetting. I'm so in the habit of, like, running this section and picking up all these items, and we really don't need to because we can't change our held item. Anyway, we're going to come talk to Kurt. He's going to tell us all about the Slowpoke well and then run away from us because he's never seen an experienced Chansey like this, and then he's going to say, oh no, I fell down the well. You're going to have to fight these guys and get some experience, buddy. So we're just going to do that. Let's go ahead and get into these rocket fights. These should be easy as long as Sing lands. That's basically the name of the game here, and we're doing over half to the Rattata here. We did take a tail whip, so we'll take more damage from the second Rattata, but as long as it goes to sleep, we should be fine. Looks like it has us in maybe a 4 or 5 hit range, depending on the exact damage it gets. So once it wakes up, we're going to have to put it back to sleep. It does go back to sleep, and we get a Dream Eater. Very nice. So we do, in fact, win on that first battle. This is where I'm going to slam some potions just because I don't want to backtrack out. And let's see how we do against the remaining rockets. Usually when you get through that first rocket, you're good to go all the way till Jamesy Proton, especially here with a psychic type move. This should be super easy. So we level up and learn Soft Boiled. I am going to learn this move. I'm going to learn this over Light Screen. I don't think Light Screen actually has any value for us because we already have a massive special defense stat. Like, when are we going to use Light Screen? Tell me if I'm wrong, but I honestly don't think that this is going to be situation where we're ever going to use that move. So there we go. We have forgotten Light Screen in order to learn Soft Boiled. Definitely one of the best moves possible on this Pokemon. It would be terrible if I run out of Sing PP here, though. Oh, that could be a problem. Here we do manage to knock out that Zubat. We're gonna need to land a Sing here, though. Oh no. Oh no. I've run out of Sing PP. So I think I just have to use up my other PP and hope that I can, Soft Boiled to heal up here to get to Struggle. That's going to be my strategy. I don't think we have to take the reset here because technically we shouldn't do much damage when we do hit ourselves in Confusion. It's not like it's doing much damage with the Leech Life, but this is terrible. This is like the first major issue in this run is what if we run out of Sing PP? Okay, so here we've used up all of our PP except Soft Boiled. I'm just going to heal up with the Soft Boiled here. It's going to take a hot minute just because of the fact that, we're also confused and sometimes hitting ourselves. But once we get all the Soft Boiled to use up, we should be able to struggle this Pokemon down. That's my logic anyway. So definitely not a speed run. Zubat is the GOAT. It is by far the hardest Pokemon. We can see Struggle looks to be about a 4-hit KO here, and we're both struggling against each other, but we out-struggle it, and we manage to win. I don't know, can we win the last fight with Struggle? I'm gonna go in on full health. Let's just see if we can struggle this Pokemon down. So we have made it to Jamesy Proton at the end of this section. We're at the same level 14, but look how little damage we're doing with the Struggle here. Oh no. This is legitimately a problem. Okay, with the poison on, I don't think we win. I don't think we could even win if we crit every single turn. The Lucky Punch would not help us here, and we simply are going down on this one. So definitely we need to backtrack out. We have to heal up and go back in there with the Dream Eater. Then we've got an easy victory. I just didn't want to go outside. It's kind of a gamer mentality, If you can avoid going outside, you definitely should. At least that's what I like to tell myself. So yeah, with proper moves now, let's try Jamesy Proton again. Here I'm going to Sing, and then let's go Dream Eater on this Pokemon, and look at that. It's going to be like a 2-hit KO. We can even Mud Slap here at this point because it's just on such low health. So we easily win, getting to level 15. And with that, Kurt is going to take us back out of the Slowpoke well, and we're ready to move on in the game. Question is, where do we want to go next? I think I'm going to try the rival first. And my logic here is basically that we're already basically at the level that we would normally fight the rival at, number one. And number two, I think the Dream Eater strats are going to be really good against 2 of his Pokemon. So I don't need to save 20 times. Let's just get into this and find out if we can win. So first up, we've got the Ghastly. We're both going to try to put each other to sleep. He gets me to sleep first, but he cannot damage a Chansey. So this is just a free Pokemon, basically. We're just going to Dream Eater and get the easy 1-hit KO. Zubat comes out next. We're trying to go for Sing here. We landed on the second attempt, and now Dream Eater is going to be a 2-hit KO, but it's going to be more than enough to get through that Pokemon as we get to level 16. Croconaw comes out. We're at the same level as this Pokemon, and we're even like the same speed as Croconaw. That's the issue of Croconaw, is that it's not fast. Still, it took a ton of turns to get it to sleep. Now we get a Dream Eater though, and we did 21 damage with a crit. So we're probably doing like 10 damage normally, 10, 11 damage it looks like, meaning this is a 5-hit KO, but it stays asleep and we get the victory against the rival, getting to level 17. We could learn Double Slap here. We will not learn Double Slap. I do not think we need that move. We're going to get better normal moves as we go through this. And the rival just turns out to be an absolute joke. So very nice. Good to see that we have something. I'm pretty sure that we get pretty far on minimum battles with this setup just because of the way that, you know, these moves work. Of course, we don't want to get Stun Sport or Poison Powdered here. We managed to dodge both from Paris. Very nice. And we can go Dream Eater and Dream Eater again. That's an easy 2-hit KO. Not sure if the crit mattered, but we did get it to go. I'm going to pop out and heal just because I'm worried about PP in this last fight. Anyway, we have made it now to Bugsy. Let's see how this fight goes on hopefully minimum battles. So we lead off against the Metapod, of course. We're going to go for Sing here, and then we can just go into our Dream Eater. It's going to be an easy 2-hit KO on this Pokemon, and then he's going to go Kakuna second. That's basically fine. We don't even mind Harden since it has no effect on our strategy. And then the Dream Eater just one-shots that Pokemon, and we get to Scyther. We're at level 18, so we're actually a higher level than Scyther here, and it misses the second Fury Cutter, which is perfect. We get it to sleep. We Dream Eater. We did 14 damage. This is going to be a 4-hit KO to take this Pokemon down, and it's looking pretty good as long as he stays asleep one more turn. There we go. We have defeated Bugsy on the first attempt. As we get to level 19, we are just crushing the game. This lucky Pokemon, but it's also out leveling everything at this point. Like, it's kind of funny to think, like, normally you would be basically on par with, you know, these ace Pokemon with a fast level up Pokemon, but you're actually going to out level them when you're running on, you know, minimum battles with the lucky egg, with the fast level up group. It would be very interesting to try another run where we have the lucky egg and we have a traded Pokemon, so we're like double dipping into the like extra experience as we go through the game. I think that would be super interesting to try out, but I'm not going to do that today because I have found in my experience doing, you know, trade back runs in Gen 1, for example, like, I'm just telling you that disobedience is scary. Like, I have PTSD from disobedience, and I just did. It's not up on the channel yet. It will be in another week or so, but I just did the Berserker Gene Mewtwo. I've completed the run, and it felt to me like running a Pokemon that was disobedient, because consider that you're permanently confused, so you always have a 50-50 chance of hitting yourself in confusion. And yeah, I don't think I want to run a disobedient Pokemon immediately after that. I think I would need like a couple weeks off making content because, oh, it's just brutal, guys. I'm just telling you. Still, stick around for that run because it is very interesting. There are some very interesting spots in that challenge. I'm just going to heal up real quick and then let's make our way into Whitney's gym. Normally, I would go and get the Quick Claw with this Pokemon, but I don't think that that's going to be, you know, anything here. We're just going to stick on minimum battles. I'm going to avoid the trainers and let's see if we can actually win here on minimum battles with this set. So first up, we've got to get through Scary Carry. Sing lands on the Snubble. Now Dream Eater does about half. It might be a range here. I'm not sure. We do not get the 2-hit range. Just gonna mud slap it down from here. It misses a bite, so perfectly fine. Anyway, we have made it now to Whitney. Let's just see if we can make her cry on the first attempt here. Whitney leads off with her Clefairy. We go for Sing. It Metronome's Rock Smash against us, but we do manage to get it to sleep. Now Dream Eater is doing 17 damage, so this is gonna be slightly worse than a 3-hit KO. Looks like a 4-hitter based on that range. So I'm gonna hit it 3 times with the Dream Eater, and then we're gonna do 1 Mud Slap here here to take that Pokemon down. We get to level 22 as Miltank comes out. Obviously, we're not outspeeding here. It starts the rollout, and here I'm gonna just mud slap this Pokemon into oblivion, basically with the logic being that, you know, we're probably gonna have to put it to sleep a couple times. It can use things like Milk Drink as well. So I think the best strategy is just to make sure that it has no accuracy left, put it to sleep. Now we're going for the Dream Eater here, and sorry, I didn't see the range on that. We have 39 HP. Okay, we did 16 damage there. So it's going to take 2 more hits to knock this Pokemon out with the Dream Eater. It stays asleep, and we beat Whitney on the first attempt, getting to level 23. We could learn Minimize here. And the question is, should we learn Minimize here? So here we go. I'm going to skip Minimize, I think, because I skipped it in the last video as well. Yes, we could use Minimize strats to try to cheese some fights, especially with sleep. You sing, you set up Minimize, and then you like have an easy win. I think it's more interesting to try to run this Pokemon without doing that setup. That's my logic anyway. You can disagree with me. I might be underselling a little bit, but yeah, Minimize out. There we go. But we have completed 3 gyms on minimum battles. I think we've got Morty in the bag. So yeah, this is just going to be a question of whether or not we can beat Rival 3. I am going to come down here and get access to rollout since we saw that strat last time. That's probably my late game / post game strat if I have to guess, just because it's so incredibly overpowered here. And now we're going to just, you know, quickly get through this section. I'm also debating adding on Headbutt here in order to get through the Umbreon that's coming up. Yes, we can technically hit it with the Mud Slap. I'm just not sure that's the best strategy. And while we're kind of losing Mud Slap for, you know, like, you know, Magnemite and whatnot, I'm not sure it matters because we could always just relearn Mud Slap if we absolutely need it because we have the TM. Remember, we got Mud Slap by virtue of our little a spin the wheel game at the start of this. Okay, so here I have basically decided I'm going to add on Rollout here. I actually think this is the best move for this Pokemon at this point because think about it. We've got Sing, we've got Dream Eater, we've got Soft Boiled, and Rollout just will gradually build up. That's my logic, but I don't know. Maybe I need to save Rollout for later on though, after Jasmine. Sorry, I've talked myself out of it. Okay, in that case, then I'm going Headbutt here because I'm going to need Headbutt for the Espeon and the Umbreon in order to do decent damage at least. And like I said, Mud Slap can be relearned if we absolutely need the move. I just don't think we're absolutely going to need the move. I think with Soft Boiled and Dream Eater, we're going to be able to heal enough that it's not going to make a big difference. Yeah, Headbutt and Dream Eater are doing at least reasonably similar damage. We do have the badge boost for normal moves from the Whitney fight. So we are actually doing a little bit more damage with Headbutt here. We can see it's legit strong here, like legit strong in terms of we're knocking out opponents in 3 hits. You know, that's an accomplishment with a Chansey running physical moves, is like, hey, I 3-hit KO'd something. This is incredible. Now I think the more interesting thing though is that we are at level 26 already and we have 46 speed. So if we go down to the lighthouse and gain 2 levels, we'll be able to outspeed rival number 3's Haunter. And if we can outspeed the Haunter, then we're going to actually have decent chances of getting through here. So that's what I'm going to do. Here we managed to get to level 28. We are now at 49 speed, so we are faster than the rival's Haunter. That is why we came here, and we have achieved our mission. So we're going to get out of this section on full health, in spite of the fact that we took damage, pick up the ether and avoid the rest of these trainers, and just come hear about Jasmine, you know, telling us her story about why she needs the secret potion. But we know what she's actually about. Everybody knows what she's actually about. It's how she made that Steelix so incredibly OP. Clearly, it's Pokemon PEDs, guys. I'm just saying. Anyway, we have made it to rival number 3. We are 1 point in speed faster than his Haunter. I think this is going to go just fine, but let's see if we land the Sing. We Sing. Yes, it goes to sleep. And now Dream Eater. Oh, this might be the luckiest Chansey ever. We get to the Magnemite. We land Sing here as well. And I'm just going to stick with Dream Eater here because, you know, special defense is lower. And that is an easy 2-hit KO on that Pokemon. We get to level 29 as Zubat comes out. We miss Sing here. Okay, we're not perfectly lucky, but then we get confused and we still put it to sleep the next turn. and use Dream Eater. Okay, so we never hit ourselves in confusion. This is clearly nice. And we've made it to the final Crocodile, which also gets put to sleep with Sing. Are you kidding me? Oh, and we get the crit turn 1. Now I'm just going to headbutt this Pokemon because we've got such high HP. I don't think it matters. And we win. Oh, the Rival 3 fight was a joke. Are you kidding me? What, isn't it amazing how easy the game of Pokemon is when you just land every single Sing? Like, it would be great if that is how Pokemon always operated for me. Instead, I have runs where I literally reset, 10, 20 times trying to get this sort of luck. Oh, man. Anyway, we have now made it into Morty's gym. I think the randos are going to be just fine as long as the Sings land and we get to use Dream Eater. These Pokemon should just go down. The only way that we could lose is by missing a bunch of Sings. And it's a 55% accurate move, so that is a possibility. But once we do manage to get it, we should easily win here. The other possibility, of course, is if we get cursed and we don't manage to heal up quickly enough. But these Pokemon cannot damage us with damage dealing moves. So the only way they would take us down is if we were unable to heal up enough in battle. Here we do get this Ghastly to sleep. I'm going to Dream Eater there. And that is the team. Very good. So we did manage to get through that. But yeah, this is basically the thing. We do not have to worry too much about these randos in here because they do not have damage dealing moves that affect us outside of Curse, basically. And very easy victory as we get to level 31 right here. Consider that like a lot of our Pokemon are getting to level 31 in like Chuck's gym in the next section. So level 31 means that we're doing pretty darn well as far as our levels here. Now I'm just going to pop out, heal up, get my PP back, and we should outspeed, I think, everything except Gengar here because of our level. Because we're just at such a high level at this point. Normally, Chansey is not fast enough to outspeed most of these Pokemon, but because we're just gaining extra levels and we're on max DVs, it is working out here. We have made it to Morty. Let's see if we can get the first attempt victory here. Leading off, he has his Ghastly. We miss the Sing and we get cursed. That is actually the worst start to this run possible since all of its other moves are effectively nothing, but we do get to knock it out and use the Dream Eater. We put the Haunter to sleep. I'm actually going to soft boiled here, hoping that it stays asleep. Sure enough, it does. Now I can go Dream Eater with no problems. Easy one-hit KO. Gengar comes out. We're basically using the same strat here. We both want to put each other to sleep to use Dream Eater. The issue is that when we get put to sleep, we have the additional effect of being cursed. So we're actually going to lose this first attempt due to the hypnosis. But because of the way that the game is programmed, there's an additional 25% chance for those status moves to actually miss. And because of that, technically, the hypnosis from the Gengar is less accurate than our Sing. So we should have a chance of actually being able to put that Pokemon to sleep. Still our first reset coming here in this one, or I guess our first like kind of reset on a major battle. Kind of sad. We get to Gengar on the next attempt though. We can go Dream Eater. It does about half and it stays asleep. So we knock it out on the next turn. That brings us to the final Pokemon, this Haunter, and Haunter cannot use any moves that actually affect us. I'm actually using Headbutt here because I kind of wanted to mimic Headbutt just because, then it will have something so that if everything goes awry, it could knock us out eventually, I guess. We wouldn't have to sit here forever. But yeah, we just knock it out after getting Sing and Dream Eater on it. So there we go. We have won. So just like that, we are ready to progress in the game. And at this point, I think the only strategy is to go ahead and take on the Rocket Hideout. Basically, we just want to get as many levels as we possibly can before we get into the, kind of meat and potatoes of this, which is gonna be Chuck and Jasmine. Those two scare me. If we're fast enough to outspeed everything on Chuck's team, we should be fine. Jasmine's team, even if we can outspeed, is not like it's going to be a bunch of guaranteed victories. And I ran into a trainer. Rip. Sorry, I'm going to reset right here. So we are back to Morty. Sorry, guys. But I do not want to take the optional battle here. I should have saved after defeating Morty. Rip. And now we get cursed. Rip, double rip. Terrible. Terrible, I say. Still, we already know that this is a winnable fight. It's just a matter of, Sing luck, basically, and Hypnosis luck. Still, I'm just going to go for the Sing into Dream Eater here. There was obviously no actual logic to, letting that Haunter learn, headbutt last time. I was just kind of talking out my, because I said it. It's live. I said it live, guys. Anyway, that's what I wanted to see. Sing lands on the final Haunter, and it stays asleep, so we get the victory. There we go. So it took a couple more attempts to get back through Morty, but that was just because of a misplay on my part. This is the issue with minimum battles, though. I just ran into random trainers sometimes, and then I have to back up because misrouting. It's just one of those things. So now we have legitimately gotten through. I have saved to make sure that we do not get back into that situation, and we're going to now make our way over to the Lake of Rage. And because this is not my minimum battle series, in the minimum battle series, I'm actually turning these Pokeballs into Master Balls, but here we're going to have to legitimately catch our Gyarados. So that could lead to a couple of resets just because we actually need to get that to go. And we need the Gyarados because it is going to be our HM Pokemon as well. Like, don't get me wrong, technically you could go and catch something else, but I prefer to get the Gyarados. Come on, it's a special Pokemon, guys. Gotta get the red Gyarados. Not catching the red Gyarados, I think, should auto-fail any run. But there we go. Okay, finally we get our Gyarados there. Took a few attempts, not gonna lie. It's definitely not the best way to go, but we do get the job done, and we can run back to Mahogany Town and take on that Rocket Hideout, where we're going to gain a few more levels at least, I think, before we actually have to go take on something hard. And we're going to take on Price before we go to Chuck or Jasmine here. Definitely it is the correct routing in this section of the game. Let's see how we do against the second Rocket Executive here at the end of this section. So of course she's going to lead off with Arbok. Sing puts that Pokemon to sleep, and then Dream Eater will almost one-shot. It just barely misses the range, but we knock it out on the next turn. Gloom is out next. We Sing, and we're going to Dream Eater this Pokemon as well, getting the one-hit KO. And that brings out Murkrow, where I'm just going to headbutt. We get a crit and a flinch, so we take no damage, and we easily defeat that Executive. So the Rockets, as usual, are a complete joke. Like, this is the most boring part of the run for me every time. There's only a couple situations that I've had where I've actually lost to any of the Rockets here. They're usually pretty random situations. So yeah, this whole section, I wish I could just cut it out like completely. Can we just skip this? Can we just like say that we did this part and get all the levels? That would be cool with me. Anyway, we have to catch these electrodes. If they self-destruct on us, we get XP. So the other possibility, which I will use right now, is to swap Gyarados into the top slot. And I'm doing this to keep the XP from going on my Chansey, because technically you could catch these electrodes, and I could do that, but it would just take a lot longer. I'm just doing this for convenience. You can yell in the comments about, solo run, this is cheating, but Gyarados completely destroys these electrodes, in spite of the fact that they're electric type, because they don't know electric type moves, and Thrash is OP here. And with this, we can just guarantee that we get the 3 of them out of the way without actually having to gain any XP with our Chansey. So very nice. We get through that nice and easy, and we are ready to move on in this challenge. So I'm just going to switch my Gyarados out of the top slot, hop out of here, and there we go. We're ready to go to Price's gym now. We can actually get back into some action that matters. Price's gym, there are no required trainers. Normally, this spinner right here is really hard to get past on minimum battles. I'm using a ROM hack that causes him to never look at me in order to get past this nice and easy, because you actually have to go next to him twice. That's why he's hard to get past. But once you get in front of Price, which you can do, it just takes a little bit of luck, you're able to get here on minimum battles with no optional battles inside of this gym. So let's just see how Price actually goes in this one, given that we're a special tank. We obviously lead off with Sing against the Seal. It hits Icy Wind, but that's not really a big deal. Didn't even manage to get the speed drop on us. Now this looks like a 3-hit KO, and I'm just gonna headbutt it down after we get it on low health. Dugong comes out next. We Sing, and this one we Dream Eater, and it looks like it's probably gonna be a 4-hit KO. We did 25 damage there, and it has 95 HP, and the range is looking like it's holding up, so we are going to knock it out in 4 hits. Ooh, it actually survives the 4th hit with 2 HP, so we're gonna knock it out the next turn with a headbutt. That's all right. We make it to the pile of swine. It's going with the Fury attack because it doesn't really want to use its ice type moves, given our Pokemon is a special tank, and we're just missing all the Sings here. Are you kidding me? There we go. We finally land Sing. Now we can go go for Dream Eater. And this one also looks like it's probably a 4-hit KO based on the range. We did like 36 damage there, but we're just not quite going to get the range to 2-hit KO, or 3-hit KO rather. But I don't know, maybe we just got another range. Yeah, sure enough, we do in fact get the 3-hit KO. So our second hit did a little bit more damage. We must have gotten a good damage roll there. Price goes down easy. We actually get access to our badge boost in special as well. Special attack will be stronger. Special defense, we're going to need to gain a few more levels before that's actually relevant. If I understand the ranges of the badge boost glitch that happens with the special badge boost, the special defense badge boost in this version. So with that done, we're ready to go down basically towards Chuck and Jasmine. The question is, which do we want to take on first? The logic for taking on Jasmine first is that her Pokemon are slow. We can guarantee that we will just outspeed everything, so then it should just be about the luck to actually get them to sleep. The logic for Chuck's gym is that we already have to go to Cyanwood anyway, and we could, assuming that we outspeed things, be able to knock them out pretty easily with the Dream Eater because it will be super effective. So I'm not sure exactly which is the better strategy or better routing. I think we outspeed against the Hitmons here. If we do, then I think this is the best place just to go into Chuck's gym. Let's see if we actually outspeed Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. So of course, first we've got the first of the Black Belt Bros. He leads off with his Hitmonlee, and we are in fact quite a bit faster. So this is definitely the way to go. We put Hitmonlee to sleep. Dream Eater is not going to one-shot, and we take a massive jump kick, but now we can just headbutt that Pokemon down. That takes the first one down. We get to the second one, who is using the Hitmonchan that does not know any fighting type moves. We're getting Ice Punched here and Fire Punched here, but once we get it to sleep, we can just go into the Dream Eaters, and yeah, we get a 1-hit KO there even. So very nice. Easy victory. And with that trainer going down, or with these two trainers going down, I think we're basically good to go to make our way to Chuck. So now we can get to Chucky Boy. Let's see if we win on the first attempt here. So he leads off with his Primeape. We sing and put it to sleep, and now just Dream Eater is an easy 1-hit KO. That is ridiculous. We put the Poliwrath to sleep. Now he does use a full heal on this Pokemon, so we have to put it back to sleep a second turn. We land both sings. Are you kidding me? It stays asleep, and then we just Dream Eater it down. We never even had to worry about even the possibility of getting hit by a move. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, Chansey's overpowered. Here, we could learn Defense Curl. I'm going to hold off on this move. I'm just going to skip it. My logic is that it is a TM move, and we don't really want Defense Curl until we get to, like, roll out anyway. I don't think there's a lot of physical attackers until basically we get to Lance, other than Jasmine, but I don't think that Jasmine's actually going to be that hard here. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think we're going to get this. I could be wrong. But let's just see. So here against Jasmine, my logic is to go in with my moveset as it is first, because we could get flinches and things like that. But after that, if we are failing, we may add on Mud Slap in order to have some additional way of dealing damage, or we could go Rock Smash. I don't think I picked up the TM, but we could use it because it does have the potential to lower defense. But I honestly think that this comes down to the Dream Eater, the soft boiled, things like that. Let's just see if we land all the sings again. Jasmine attempt number 1. So of course she leads off with the Magnemite. We land Sing. So perfect. Dream Eater here is looking like a 3-hit KO. It wakes up and misses the Thunder Wave, but then it hits. But Thunderbolt's not going to do much damage here. So I'm not just going to insta reset because of the fact that we're not really being threatened by anything. And we do take that Pokemon down. Out comes the second Magnemite. It also goes Thunderbolt against us, but we get it to sleep. We can go into Dream Eater now, knowing that this is a 3-hit KO, and yeah, perfectly fine. We get through that Pokemon. Now we've made it to Steelix, of course. This is where we're worried about the Iron Tail. It misses the first one, it hits the second one, and does massive damage, but we do get it to sleep, only for it to wake up, and we're going down here as long as it hits, just because we were slower. Still, this is definitely a possible fight. We just need to get sleep to actually last on those two Magnemites for a reasonable number of turns, and we can get through this. So it's just going to be a question of if we can get that level of luck, or do we need the Mud Slaps mixed in. This time we get through the first Magnemite with no issues, it just stays asleep. We managed to land Sing on the second Magnemite. Dream Eater is doing its job here. It wakes up and then it does manage to paralyze us. So unfortunately, we are going into the Steelix with paralysis. If it had just stayed asleep one more turn, we would have gotten this though. That brings out the Steelix again. It misses Iron Tail. Now it's going to hit Iron Tail, and we really need to land the Sing. We could go for soft boiled after landing Sing here. Who knows? Maybe this is where not getting defense curl is actually an issue, because we might have been able to, you know, set up all the defense curls. Still, I mean, eventually we can get that move. It's just a question of, you know, whether or not we actually needed it here. Obviously, if we had minimized, that would also be a strat, because you could just basically make it where you almost never get hit by that Steelix. Here we are getting on fairly low health against this Magnemite, so I am going to soft boiled once here. I'm just going to go into headbutt to finish it off. And that's also a strategy, is just to see what headbutt does. It doesn't do that much, but you know, like a 5-hit KO here. But we can just save our Sings and Dream Eaters for later on. Here on fairly low health, I will try to go soft boiled to heal up, and then the next headbutt will just take that Pokemon down. Very nice. Back to Steelix. Here we get a few Iron Tail misses, and then we do get it to sleep. Let's see what Dream Eater does. It did 17 damage here. Okay, so definitely not ideal by any means, but it is at least dealing damage. But we're going down pretty darn easily after that. So here I do think we replace Headbutt with Mud Slap. And the logic is just that we can get, you know, accuracy drops, which in theory lead to better ranges against these Pokemon. So let's just go ahead and replace that Headbutt with the Mud Slap and now see how this section actually goes. So here against the Magnemite, let's just see what Mud Slap actually does against this Pokemon. It does less than half, but it is lowering accuracy, and they generally go Thunder Wave on the first turn. So like here I went for Sing, which is probably not the best play, but you know, once we lower its accuracy a couple times, we should actually have a reasonable shot of getting through here. Obviously, if we could avoid the Thunder Wave from both of the Magnemites, which does happen, especially using the Mud Slap strats, we could have a really reasonable shot of getting through here. Now against the Steelix though, that's where we really want the Mud Slaps. We didn't get the chance to use it there because we could not move. Let's try this again. So here we put the first Magnemite to sleep, or I'm going to Mud Slap it. We get a critical hit there. Gonna just put it back to sleep, and now we can even go Dream Eater. Goes Supersonic against me, but we Mud Slap it, so it does go down. Nice. Now we hit ourselves in confusion, but we get a Thunder Wave miss. That's exactly what we wanted to see. We're still hitting ourselves in confusion. Fortunately, we won't do too much damage to ourselves, and we can knock that Pokemon out. That brings us to Steelix for the first time without paralysis. Put it to sleep turn 1, and now I'm using all the Mud Slaps here first, because I just want to get as many misses as I possibly can from this Pokemon, and because it's asleep, like we have a reasonable chance of setting everything up. Here we managed to put it back to sleep even, and now a Mud Slap again. So we've used up all the Mud Slaps. Now we're going into our Dream Eaters. We're just hoping that we can deal enough damage. Of course, she will use a Hyper Potion here. There's nothing we can do about that. We get a nice crit there though. Now she Hyper Potions, but she can't wake up the turn that she uses the Hyper Potion. That is an important factor in this. We put this Pokemon back to sleep. Question is, do we have enough PP? We have 9 more PP in Dream Eater and 7 more PP in Sing. So we just have to keep her asleep enough turns. We do get the Pokemon back to sleep. Now Dream Eater, and let's Dream Eater again. We need one more hit. We put it back to sleep. It stays asleep, and we have won. Just like that, Jasmine does go down. We get to level 42. We're moving on in this one. A lot of Pokemon around this level are basically getting ready to go to the league. So 42 is actually a really high level for a Pokemon at this point in the challenge. And we have managed to get through 7 gym badges on minimum battles. After you throw on that Mud Slap, it's really not that bad. Now this next part is just tedious. Like every time, I always hate the rocket section because like nothing should be interesting here. It's all just, do you land Sing? Yes. Okay. Do you win? Yes. That's basically it. And we're gonna have to heal up here. I have a full restore in the bag, so we'll just use that, save the game, and it's time to go to the final executive at the top. So here against this guy, I think we can even headbutt on the Coughings. Oh, we get a smoke screen that was actually very bad. 2 smoke screens, in fact. We do manage to knock that Pokemon out though. We're gonna need some Sing luck though. I probably should have just gone straight for the Sing strats at the start of this, because those 2 smoke screens are actually a problem, just because I don't think we actually get through this with just headbutt PP. I'm going to take a reset here because of the fact that I needed to sing on that first one. Smokescreen is the move that we need to avoid. I think even if they self-destruct, we'll survive. So here, once we get this one to sleep, oops, not items, Dream Eater should be a one-hit KO. Sure enough, it is. Next one comes out, we sing and land the hit, so we can go right back for the Dream Eater on that one. Sing again. We're landing all the sings, so clearly when you're landing all the sings, this is the strat. Get to wheezing, it also goes to sleep. Very nice. We are clearly the best singer. We barely missed knocking out the wheezing, but we'll just knock it out on the next turn. And we have yet to miss a sing in this fight. Oh, we are running God tier luck. Oh, finally on the last coughing, we get a miss. But now we're just going to go headbutt on this one as it uses the smoke screens, and we win on that attempt. So clearly just singing at the beginning and using Dream Eater is the strategy. And once you do that, you can get through all those guys. And we can now move on to the basement and rival number 4. Basically what I'm thinking for the next section after we get through Jasmine in the minimum battle series, by the way, is that I'm going to do the Rocket Hideout, Claire, and Rival 5 all together in a set. Basically, yes, it will have 2 rival fights, but I feel like the best way to leave everything off in that next section is going to be to leave off just before the league, and then we're going to take on each league member one by one with just a massive number of Pokemon. So we're going to be back to doing like maybe 20 Pokemon in an episode, but just fighting against Will, then just fighting against Koga, then just fighting against Bruto, so on and so forth, until we get to the end, because I think that that will be, you know, the most interesting and effective way to set it up. That's just my opinion, though. I would love to hear you guys' feedback on that. Anyway, we have made it to rival number 4. Let's see how this guy goes. So here we are going to just go sing on the Golbat. We actually missed though. We hit ourselves in confusion, wing attack, but now it goes to sleep after we snap out of confusion. Dream Eater does the job. That's an easy one-hit KO. Out next comes the Magnemite. We get Thunder Wave, which is not ideal. We missed the sing, unfortunately, but now I think we can do just about anything. Like even Headbutt makes sense here if we're not fully paralyzed, at least. Like it can't do anything that we're really worried about. Now we get to the Haunter though. This is where I'm worried because we get cursed and we don't have any way to avoid that. We can Dream Eater that Pokemon down. Sneasel comes out next, Screech, and then we're gonna get cursed again, and there's nothing we can do because we couldn't move. So we need a run where we do not get paralyzed. I think that much is the minimum that we need here. This time we land Sing the first turn on the Golbat and knock it out with our Dream Eater. Magnemite comes out. Once again, we miss the Sing, so I'm just gonna auto reset there in that situation because it's really just a coin flip of whether or not we get it to sleep and then we can probably knock it out pretty easily, or we don't get it to sleep and we get completely wrecked. So yeah, turns out that Golbat is not a guaranteed one-hit KO with Dream Eater, by the way, but this time we do manage to get Magnemite to sleep. We'll go for Dream Eater. It looks very close to half, slightly less though, so it's going to take 3 hits, but we are getting through with no Thunder Wave this time. On to Haunter. We're faster, but we miss. We hit it the next turn though, so after its curse, we will be able to Dream Eater and knock that Pokemon out. Sneasel comes out next. It is faster with the quick attack, but we put it to sleep. I'm going to take this opportunity to Soft Boiled just to get some HP back, and now we're going to have to go into our headbutts here. Going to headbutt it twice and then go, ooh, oh no, misclick. No, I went Dream Eater. That was not what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go Soft Boiled. That was a misclick, guys. Sorry about that. Another thing that happens when you're doing things live, misclicks. Still, we're going to get through Golbat again on the next attempt. Let's just hope that we once again land Sing here. We do. So Magnemite gets Dream Eatered. It wakes up. It misses the Thunder Wave, but then it hits after we miss the Sing. So we do knock that one out this time. We're back to Haunter. Sing misses. Nothing we can do about that. And we have no choice. We have to land Sing here. On lower health, I will heal up with Soft Boiled because this Pokemon cannot damage me with any of its moves. So it's just as simple as we need to put it to sleep, and it needs to stay asleep 2 turns after that while we Soft Boiled and then go for the Dream Eater. Here it stays asleep, and Dream Eater should allow us to effectively gain an additional turn, but Sneasel uses Quick Attack, which takes that turn away from us. Still, I think we have to put this Pokemon to sleep before we can go for our Soft Boileds. just because it is doing decent damage with its physical attacks. And I'm going to have to just soft-boiled until I get to reasonably high health. Here we'll soft-boiled again, basically taking us back up to full health here. But once again, we have to sing. Get a headbutt here once, deal some damage, and then soft-boiled here to heal up. This is all just about turns, right? How many turns we have left. We get a quick attack, we headbutt. One more hit here will knock this Pokemon out, so I'm just going for it. And we level up, so we should be able to land Sing once before we will get knocked out. Unfortunately, we miss, but Rage did like nothing, so we get a heal up here. And if that's the strat that it's going for, is Rage, I think we have a chance here because it's not going to do that much damage. So we're basically getting back to full health again, and now we just need to actually land Sing, and we're missing like all the Sings here, and there's just no way to get through at that point. Headbutt wouldn't have done that much damage. It only did 22 damage there. Oh, that was terrible to miss that many Sings in a row. Like, you should hit 50% of the time. That's the whole point. So on average, we should, with 15 Sings, we should still be able to get, like one Sing on each Pokemon here at least on average. It's more about the fact that we have to get the Sings early on the Magnemite and the Haunter if we really want to get through. Those are the two Pokemon that I think Sing is absolutely 100%, like it needs to land the turn that they come out. That's about a 1 in 4 chance. Outside of those two, I think that we could miss the Sing and it's not really the end of the world. So let's just see if we get the luck this time on Magnemite. We do, so we knock that one out. Now we just need to actually land Sing on Haunter, and we just keep missing the Sing on Haunter and getting cursed. If we ever land the Sing on Haunter and it just stays asleep one turn, we knock this Pokemon out in one hit. I guarantee it. So this is just bad luck. Like, we're just getting really bad luck here on specifically the Haunter. If we didn't have that luck on the Haunter, we would get through this. So here, I'm just going to knock out Sneasel, and I'm just going to heal here on the Feraligatr now that I know that it's only going to use Rage, which doesn't do that much damage as we don't build it up. And I'm just going to take this opportunity to get really, really healed up. So that's the other thing that I've learned. Now that I know that this Pokemon only uses Rage, I think that we can legitimately just go for, the KO on the Sneasel and then just Sing on the Feraligatr. We just once again missed all the Sings on Feraligatr there. Here, finally, we managed to get the Haunter to go to sleep the first turn, and now Dream Eater is a one-hit KO, so that takes that Pokemon down. We get to Sneasel with no curse now, and now I don't think anything matters. We can just go for the headbutts here. It's not going to do nearly enough damage with the quick attacks, and now I'm just putting the Feraligatr to sleep because I think we're going to do more damage with the Dream Eater. That's the only reason to put this Pokemon to sleep. Sure enough, we do a lot more damage. We did, 41 damage here, so nearly double the amount of damage that we would be doing with Headbutt. Still, this Pokemon seems to have a Mint Berry or something because it refuses to go to sleep. We do finally get it to go though, and we get the crit. So we do beat the rival on minimum battles here. It was a little bit random, but like I said, I think that came more down to us getting really bad luck rolls. Given what the average should be, that was just really, really bad luck. But very nice. We have gotten through to the final trainer, the executive at the top here. It's been a heck of a grind to get to this, but now we can really do anything. I don't think we actually need to worry too much. We just don't want to be roared. That is all we're really trying to avoid here. And then here, I don't think we want to be smoke screened, which is why I'm trying to go for the Sing into the Dream Eater. This is the only Pokemon we can Dream Eater here. And then let's just see, okay, so Houndoom does not know Roar, so I think we just go Headbutt here, and like all of its moves are special except for Smog, which is trash. So we easily get through that Pokemon, no problems, as we have gotten through our hard-boiled Chansey. Just went through the, most hard section of the game possibly, at least in terms of, tedium, not losing my mind. But there we go. We have actually made it through this section. Let me just remember to get the radio card before I leave. And yes, there we go. Radio card is acquired, and we're ready to move on in this challenge. It's time to go take on Claire. And we do have to do an ice path thing, but there are no trainers in this entire section until we get to Claire's gym. And I generally just skip everything here except for the elixir that's right there. That's the only item I think I need. We may end up backtracking yet again if we think we need other items later on, but for now, I think we're good to go. So of our 28 resets, a couple of those are just from me misrouting. So definitely we're more like 24 resets in this one, which considering that we have taken 70 battles is really not that bad. Really not that bad at all. So now we have made it to Claire, finally back to some action that matters. Let's see if we can beat Claire on the first attempt. Now, the first thing to note is we are faster than everything because we have 99 speed. We get paralyzed here though after we miss. But I mean, the fact that we're already over level 50 and these are only level 37 Pokemon makes me think we should do pretty well. And it looks like Headbutt is a 3-hit KO. Slam isn't doing that much damage. So I'm not gonna just reset here because of paralysis, because we might be able to win even with paralysis. Honestly, it's just a matter of actually landing our hits, and they don't want to use their special moves against us. I am going to try to sing in situations like this where I'm getting on lower health, just because I want to have turns to heal up. But now when we're really getting on low health, I'm going to even try to heal, normally, and we just couldn't move for so many turns there. That is bad luck. It's only 1 in 4 not to move from paralysis. Here, when we actually sing on this Pokemon, now we can just Dream Eater, and that does about half. So this is a 2-hit KO on this Pokemon. Yeah, seriously, the Lucky Egg is putting in massive work here, getting us up to level 54 at this point in the Claire fight. This time we actually get the second Dragonair to sleep as well, so we managed to knock it out in 2 hits. We managed to land Sing on the third Dragonair, and in this case, we get a nice critical hit that just barely misses the 1-hit KO. We can headbutt it down. We have made it to Kingdra, and now we just sing on this Pokemon. Let's see what Dream Eater does. It is looking like it did 38 damage, so this is going to be a 4-hit KO if that is the range. See what Headbutt does here, and that did like 27 damage. So yeah, technically 2 more Headbutts will knock this Kingdra out, though she will Hyper Potion. Nothing we can do about that, and she full heals even. Wow, okay, did not expect that. But the Headbutts are going to take this Pokemon down. It's trying to, take us down with like a Hyper Beam here. The problem with Hyper Beam is that we can just soft boiled after the Hyper Beam and recover more HP than what she did in damage, and then just knock her out. So we get to level 55 as we beat Claire. She's gonna say that clearly we've cheated, which is why she's gonna refuse the gym badge. We're gonna go talk to some old guys to put her in her place, because clearly that's how you handle problems, guys. Here we go. We have defeated Claire. We're getting our badge, and now we're ready to go to Rival 5 in the league. This fight's basically gonna come down to getting the sleep at the good times with Sing. Let's see how this actually goes. So Rival 5 attempt number 1, he leads off with the Sneasel. Here I think we just headbutt this one. It's going to be a 3-hit KO from the looks of things, but Quick Attack's not going to do nearly enough damage. So we knock that one out. Golbat is out next. We Sing. I'm going to soft boiled once here, hoping that it just stays asleep. And of course it has to wake up and get a critical hit even, but then we put it back to sleep. Dream Eater, and that will take that Pokemon down. Out next comes the Magneton. We miss the Sing and we get Thunder Waved. This yet again is the Pokemon I think we actually needed to land Sing on. Still, I'm going to go for the Dream Eater. The whole issue is that we're going to end up getting cursed now. That's all we didn't want, is to get cursed. Still, we're doing decent enough damage here. It looks like this is a 3-hit KO. I'm going to soft boiled just to get back to full health. And then let's go back for our Dream Eater. Sure enough, we get it. Knock that Pokemon out. That brings out the Haunter. Of course, it has to go curse here. We Sing, and now we have to Dream Eater. We do take that Pokemon down. Very nice. Out comes the Kadabra. Headbutt is the only play here. It's a 2-hit KO on this one. We do manage to take it down, though. That brings out the final Feraligatr, which knows Slash. But we managed to put it to sleep. We get hit by Future Sight. I'm going to go Dream Eater to see the range, and we simply go down to the curse there. We didn't deal enough damage. It looks like it's probably a 4-hit KO range on the Feraligatr with the Dream Eater there. So here, since Sneasel can't really do anything too scary, I'm going to go for the soft boiled and then into Headbutt and just knock that one out. Golbat, we can basically just Headbutt, I think. When we're confused, that's where I'm more likely to go Sing, just because I want to snap out of confusion before that Magneton. Here we snap out of confusion. Very nice. We'll Sing. We will soft boiled. And now I will go into the Dream Eater and knock that Pokemon out. Very nice. We get to level 56 on this Magneton, and once again we miss Sing. I think we just reset anytime we miss Sing on Magneton in particular, just because the paralysis is the actual issue here, I think. Okay, that one does go down. Back to Magneton. Come on, Sing. Yes, there we go. Finally, we land Sing on it. And like I said, this looks like a 3-hit KO, so we're going to need to keep it asleep a couple more turns. It stays asleep, so this time we do finally get through without any paralysis, and we land the Sing on Haunter. Yes, yes. And now we destroy that Pokemon. It deserved that. Headbutt for the Kadabra is a 2-hit KO, but really I don't think it matters. And for Alligator, now I'm just gonna headbutt this Pokemon. We're faster. We don't really have anything to worry about because, like, yeah, Slash can get a critical hit, but we can out heal that with Soft Boiled 100%. So I'm just healing at about half health just to be safe, and then we just headbutt it down. So just like that. Oh, once you actually get through that Haunter and that Magneton, easy game. Here we will not learn Double Edge. If we're gonna go for a stronger normal move, we will just go Return, I think. Headbutt makes more sense because of the flinch chance. Like, that's what we're really banking on there. Though I may end up forgetting Headbutt here. We have made it now to Will. The only question here is, do we want to put on Hidden Power Dark? I'm gonna try this first with the moveset that I have though, since we wall against all of the psychics here. Let's just see how this goes. So Willy Boy, attempt number 1. We are already at level 57. We're 17 levels higher than his Pokemon. And we have 104 speed. So we're faster than everything. We can just go Sing here. And like, he confuses us. But like, Psychic is kind of a joke to this Pokemon. Oh, this is ridiculous. Let's just start headbutting here. It looks like Headbutt is like a 4-hit KO. This is the only reason why I think we might want to go for something like Hidden Power Dark, is just to have a stronger move right here. Here we can just headbutt on Jinx. We get put to sleep, unfortunately. We're gonna have to wake up here. I wanted to see the range at least on Jinx. We're getting double slapped now. We wake up and manage to knock that Pokemon out though. Exeggutor is out next. I'm going for sleep here just so that I can heal up. It set up a reflect, so we're gonna need to change up our moveset anyway here. Still, let's just see what Dream Eater does. Doesn't do a lot, but it is doing damage. And we get a nice critical hit. We'll just stick with the Dream Eater here for a second. Sets up another reflect. I'm just going to heal here. We'll put it back to sleep and we'll just keep using Dream Eater. Nice. So we get through Exeggutor just with Dream Eater strats. Slowbro is out next. It misses we miss the first, whatchamacall. So now it's set up Amnesia and 1 Curse. So the only thing we can really do, I think, is just headbutt this one down. Oops, I did not mean to go Dream Eater while it's awake. Still, let's just see what we can do here. Like, the Amnesia has its special defense really, really high, but at the same time, I don't think we really have anything better. Like, it's got so many curses set up, and then it body slams us, but we do manage to take that Pokemon down. We're to the final Xatu. I'm gonna headbutt once there. Let's try to headbutt again. Here we snap out of confusion. We can just soft boiled to get our HP back. Headbutt again. It's just spamming the psychic here, but we put this Pokemon to sleep. We can go Dream Eater. We're gonna need one more hit in order to win here. Oh, he max potions. Are you kidding me? Okay, after the max potion, we have to absolutely keep this Pokemon asleep. We have 4 more PP in Dream Eater. If we land them all, we will win. It stays asleep. It's all the way down. And yes, we just had enough PP to take down Will with this moveset. We didn't have to go Hidden Power Dark. We didn't have to upgrade our moves. Oh, that's ridiculous. So now what we definitely need to do is to recover our PP. That's why we have a nice max elixir here, and we're ready to go into the Koga fight. We've taken 76 battles at this point. That is more battles than in all of a minimum battles run in Pokemon Yellow. This is ridiculous, but we're still on minimum battles here. Time to get into the Koga fight. Let's see how this goes. He leads off with Ariados. It's going for double team, but we do put it to sleep. We can Dream Eater that Pokemon. Nice. It goes down. Venomoth comes out second. We also put this Pokemon to sleep and Dream Eater it. We're really just scared here of Toxic, and of course that's what he uses when he wakes up. He only stayed asleep for a single turn, and now he's protecting because he knows Toxic is on. Still, we will put this Pokemon to sleep. Let's go for the Dream Eater, even though it's resisted. It's really our best chance here. Get a nice crit there, and he stays asleep, but then he wakes up and he uses the Protect, and we are going to go down on this attempt. Still, we just needed that Venomoth to stay asleep a couple turns, and I think we would have been good to go. Let's try this again. This time, Ariados goes to sleep the first turn. Of course, Dream Eater takes that Pokemon down. Venomoth comes out. We miss the Sing. It goes for Gust here, though. That is fine with me. I'm going to headbutt this Pokemon once, and then Dream Eater it after that. That will guarantee that we get the KO. Fortress is out now, but it does not have the benefit of a Toxic on us. So now we can just put it to sleep and go Dream Eater. It's not really going to go Protect here. Looks like it's going to take a couple more hits, so I'm going to Headbutt once and then Dream Eater it down. Very good. We get through that Pokemon. We're now on to the Muck. We miss Sing. It goes for Acid Armor. Now it goes Sludge Bomb. We really wouldn't mind normal Poison here. Now it minimizes. Oh, we're just missing everything. Are you kidding me? Here I'm going to Soft Boiled just to be safe, but we do get normal Poison, which means that we cannot be affected by the move Toxic anymore. The problem is just that it's set up so many minimizes, and there's nothing that we can do about that. And Sludge Bomb at least is doing decent damage. Still, it's only got 3 PP left, so after that, he's basically stuck using moves that aren't really going to do anything to us. It's just Acid Armor and Minimize. So I'm basically just stalling out his one strong attacking move, and now he's minimizing. We're hoping that we can actually, like land a Sing and then a Dream Eater here, at which point I do think we win, but we're running out of Sing PP, and that basically I think is all that she wrote for this one, because he's already got Acid Armor, he's got all the evasion. We're just not going to be able to hit here. It's just bad luck. Bad luck for that, to not be able to put him to sleep, not be able to deal any damage, even though we stalled out all of his moves. So we're just going to try this whole little misadventure again. I think Koga is a winnable fight here, though. I don't think it's actually that random by any means. Here, Venomoth stays asleep, so we just headbutt it down. Fortress, basically the same as last time. We just need to put it to sleep. Gonna headbutt once just to make sure that it's in the 4-hit KO range after that from Dream Eater. And we don't really care if it wakes up. Like, even if it explodes, I think we're going to be fine. Okay, we put it back to sleep, back to Dream Eater, and we're just going to knock it out on the next turn. Very good. Back to Muck at level 59 here. We missed the Sing. It goes Minimize, but this time we land the Sing. Very good. Now Dream Eater does hit, does about half to this Muck. We miss a Dream Eater, but now we can hit the next one and knock it out. We have made it to the Crobat. Crobat is like the first Pokemon in forever that's actually faster than us, and it goes Double Team first, and we need to land the Sing here. We do manage to land it after getting Toxic, and he full restores. Okay, that's worth noting that he does full restore on this Crobat. Oh, and a full heal. Oh, rip. Okay, I did not know that he had 2 healing items for this Pokemon. That basically guarantees that we lose, because we're just going to take too much damage. Now that I know that he uses 2 healing items there, then I know to just keep spamming Sing even after I get him asleep. So that's one of the things that has definitely changed between Gen 1 and Gen 2. In Gen 1, they have only 1 item and a set number of times that they can use it. Whereas here in Gen 2, it seems like there are some trainers that will have like a full heal and a full restore, and they'll use both of them. And you just have to know that they have those 2 items. I did not know that Koga had that strat. Now that I know, though, I can plan accordingly for that. And we know the strategy now to get through this, basically. Here, we're just going to try to put this one back to sleep and now go for the Dream Eater, and on fairly low health. Oh, it goes Explosion. Rip. Sorry, I used the wrong move there. Misclick. Okay, let's try this one again. The whole thing is that, like, 1 evasion boost isn't actually that big of a deal in Gen 2. Like, it's nowhere near as strong as Gen 1 with evasion moves. So I'm pretty sure that with 1 evasion boost, we can still land Sing and still just go for our normal strat. This is the only case where I wish that I could have Sweet Scent, just to make it less likely that they miss our move. Here, Explosion. Ooh, Explosion just destroyed us, though. Still, we've seen ourselves get through Fortress a couple times, so I definitely think it's possible to get through that without any major issues. Okay, Supersonic. Okay, but we do manage to get the Venomoth to sleep, and we'll go for the Dream Eater. Nice. This time we sleep Fortress the first turn, which is also very good. It wakes up and goes Spikes. Not a big deal. We'll just put it back to sleep. And now we're just hoping to Dream Eater this one down, basically. 1 more Dream Eater and then a Headbutt should get the job done. He goes Swift this time, so... Oh, no, we missed the range. No. Return. We need return, guys. That would have done the job. It's okay. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We're going to get through this eventually. I promise you. I promise you that when he stops trolling, we're going to get through this. It's basically what... Koga is basically Agatha in this version of the game. That's what I feel like. You could argue that Karen is also kind of Agatha, but really Koga is the new Agatha. Just the guy who has tons of random moves that if he uses the right moves, he beats you. If he uses the wrong moves, you win sort of guy. It's basically his MO. Okay, here we finally get get him to sleep. Let's soft boiled just to be safe here even. We do get him back to sleep at least, only for him to wake up pretty quick. So we're running out of Sing PP. Rip, we get a nice crit there though. Another Dream Eater, and here we can headbutt him down. Very good. So we get back to Muck and we can go ahead and just put him to sleep. Nice Dream Eater there. Another Dream Eater finishes that Pokemon off. And again, Crobat is the only faster Pokemon here, but we get Sing this time. We know that he's gonna recover though, so we have to just go all in on attack. Here we're going headbutt. It doesn't do that much though, but we are landing the headbutts. So if we can just land enough of them, we should win here. We have to heal though. And obviously Toxic is what makes this one rough because we cannot even crit from that level of HP and knock him out. So yeah, we need more Sings when we get to that last Pokemon. We had to use way too many that time on the Fortress just because he kept waking up. Not ideal, but I mean, even Ariados, we might just be able to go headbutt there. I'm going to reset when I get an early Toxic. I'm just convinced that this is a winnable fight, which is why I'm going for this. I'm going to instead go for headbutt on Ariados just because it's an easy 3-hit KO and it doesn't have any moves that we're scared of. That means then we Sing on Venomoth because it does have Toxic that we're scared of, and then we can just headbutt it down. Fortress, yet again, we need to go Sing because we want to avoid that explosion. That is the move that we're scared of here. Sets up spikes, but that's never an issue, and that's basically its go-to at the start of the fight. It always goes for spikes, it seems. I think there might be some random cases where it doesn't, but in general, that's what its strategy is. There we go. We knocked that one out. We still have plenty of Sings. We get acid armor from the Muck, but that does not matter. And as long as it stays asleep one more turn, we will knock this Pokemon out. Very good. So we are to the final Crobat on full health. It double teams. We missed the first thing. Toxic from this Pokemon is not necessarily the end of the world. We just need to actually land Sing here. Here, I'm gonna go for soft boiled again, just because that Toxic is building up and it's just double teaming like crazy. So we're losing here because of the double teams. We need to land like multiple Sings in a row, basically. That one evasion boost is kind of an issue. Oh, we actually get a 4-hit range on the Gyarados that time. Still not too bad. Still think we're getting this. Sorry, but we do have to reset when we get the Toxic early in the fight, especially after we land the Sing. It's just bad luck at that point. Okay, and it stays asleep this time. Nice. This is just the one place where I kind of wish that I had, like, you know, Fire Blast to get through the Fortress nice and easy, but it honestly doesn't make that much of a difference either way. There we go. Once again, back to Mucky Boy. Okay, he can go to sleep and heal us up here. So we're back to Crobat yet again, and we just know that we have to land Sing like 3 times on this Pokemon. We get 2 in a row. Now he goes for the full heal and the full restore. Now he's actually asleep. Now we can go Dream Eater, and this is just going to be a 2-hit KO with the Dream Eater. We miss when he wakes up, but now I think we can just headbutt that down. There we go. We do defeat Koga on minimum battles. That was the most random fight so far in this entire challenge. So that's the first fight I think we've ever had where it feels a little bad, even though we won, you know, like it doesn't feel like, oh yeah, we completely crushed that one. And now Bruno could be more the same, but if we outspeed all of his Pokemon, we should be in good shape. I mean, it's that simple. If we outspeed, we're good. If we don't outspeed, we may be resetting here a few times, and who knows, maybe this is where we have to give up on minimum battles. Just take a quick drink of water before we get into this, since he's got the lava going in the background here. Never thought of Bruno with lava. I'm just gonna say, you know, that doesn't make much sense to me. Should be a fire type gym leader, I think, but yeah, what do I know? Let's get into this. So Bruno attempt number 1 here. He leads off with the Hitmontop. We are faster. We're gonna Sing. I mean, he could have used Detect to try to avoid that, but he doesn't, and we're able to Dream Eater, and now I'm just gonna headbutt that one down. Very good. Hitmonlee is out next. We're faster than this Pokemon as well. It misses the high jump kick, then it swaggers against us. Double kick is doing massive damage. We finally managed to get the Sing on this one, and we can Dream Eater there to take that one down. We're definitely getting Mach Punched here by the Hitmonchan. Nothing we can do about that. And we hit ourselves in Confusion, which is also pretty bad. Finally, we managed to Sing though. It stays asleep. That's all we needed. And now we can just Dream Eater this Pokemon down. So we take that one down nice and easy. Machamp is out next. We're obviously faster. It misses Cross Chop after we miss Sing. It stays asleep here. We're going to Dream Eater. and we can just go back to the Dream Eater. And this is where we know Bruno is still Bruno from Gen 1. He does not have a full restore here. He only uses a max potion. If he had a full restore, he would be able to stop us from keeping his Pokemon asleep and then wake up and, you know, cross chop us again. But instead, he just has to use the worst strategy. So we beat Bruno on the first attempt. The fighting type Elite Four member we beat on the first attempt, whereas the poison type we actually had to reset multiple times. That is just indicative of how, you know, this whole section really goes. Clearly Bruno, Gen 2, still Bruno. Anyway, here, let's use our max elixir. Let's save the game. Here we are. We're ready for Karen. This one could be tough. I may need to upgrade my moveset right here. This could be where we add on rollout, honestly. But let's just see. How does our speed stack up in this section? We're at level 60 already. Like, consider most Pokemon are getting to red around level 60, and we're here at level 60 just in the league. So this is insane. Let's see how this goes. So first off, we are faster than the Umbreon. We're going to put this Pokemon to sleep, of course, and go for Headbutt. It's super bulky defensive though, so we only did like 26 damage here. We're definitely going to take like 5 or 6 hits to knock this Pokemon out. It wakes up and goes Faint Attack, and we get the flinch. So we get through no sand attacks there. That's nice. Vileplume comes out next. It's going for Stun Spore, but we get it to sleep after it misses. And this is an easy 2-hit KO on this Pokemon, so we take that one down. Now we get the Gengar. This is arguably the scariest Pokemon here, and we are slower, so nothing we can do about that. We have to put it to sleep so that we can use Dream Eater here, but it does go down. That's going to bring out Murkrow. I'm going to go for the Headbutt here. This appears to be a 3-hit KO, but it doesn't have any moves that are really threatening to us, so we can just kind of heal up and go for the Headbutts here and have a chance to get through this one. Not sure if we actually need to sing here. It goes for Quick Attack, but I'm just going for the Soft Boiled to heal up. We just need to get back on higher health. And honestly, if Quick Attack is the best that this Pokemon can do, we just don't have anything to worry about. So here we get nice and healed up. Now we should be able to just headbutt this one down. Sure enough, we do. That brings out Houndoom, whose only damage dealing moves are Pursuit, Flamethrower, and Crunch, all special moves. Still makes sense to put it to sleep. We can take this opportunity to heal up while it's still asleep, and then let's just go for Headbutt since we can definitely survive a couple turns. We get a nice crit the first turn there. She max potions, so I'm just going to take this opportunity now to heal up a little bit, and let's heal up just a little bit more. Now Flamethrower doesn't do that much. We can Headbutt again. We get a nice flinch. Oh, and we go down to the Curse. I miscalculated how much HP I had left. If I had just soft boiled there, I think we win. So yeah, this is a winnable fight. It's just a matter of the luck. If I get a Sand Attack though, I will reset just because I think that we have lower chances of winning in that case. We need to actually be able to land Sing. When we get the Sand Attack miss, I will keep this going though, because that is clearly just fine. And really, Umbreon, it seems to mostly go Sand Attack the first turn. That seems to be the way the AI works. So once we get through the first turn just fine, we're basically good to go. We get Vileplume to sleep, very nice, and we can knock this one out. And then Gengar is the one that we really just can't do anything against. We just have to put it to sleep and then go for Dream Eater and hope that it stays asleep. Sure enough, it does, so that's perfectly fine. Murkrow, we're just going to Headbutt here, knowing that it can't really do anything all that scary to us. And then when we get on lower health, that is when we will Soft Boiled, and we're just going to keep that going. Just basically get back to full health, and then we'll knock this one out the next turn. Yes, it will go Quick Attack. That does not matter. And here we can just Headbutt on the Houndoom. We're on 409 HP, so basically, you know, a little more than 100 HP will come off from the Curse. So here we can take one more Headbutt and get the Flamethrower, and now we're going to have to heal up again. But this is perfectly fine. I think that once we actually get the right ranges, we're basically okay here. Okay, here we can go back to Headbutt. We just barely miss the KO. She's going to max potion, but that gives us effectively 2 turns to use Soft Boiled to get HP back. So we're all the way back to our max HP before the Curse and the Flamethrower. So now Headbutt we know is, oh, and she gets the burn. Are you kidding me? The burn might be what does us in here. because I don't think we can do anything against that. Curse plus the burn will take us down. That's the reason to put that Houndoom to sleep, is because of the burn possibility. Okay, now that I know that, that makes sense. We're going to try this one again. And if this doesn't work, we may think about that rollout strat or think about the return strat here, because clearly we can get through, and it's just about that Gengar, you know, doing too much damage to us with the curse, but we may be able to just set up enough with rollout that it doesn't matter. So there we go. We take that one down. Back to Gengar. We've had good luck putting Gengar to sleep so far in this one, and we can Dream Eater it. And it seems the turn that you knock an opponent out, you do not take curse damage. So here I'm just going to put Murkrow to sleep even. We're going to soft boiled up. Now let's just headbutt here. Return with our friendship where it is right now would definitely be two-shotting against this Pokemon. Now I'm going to soft boiled just to be safe, but yeah, we want to keep this one asleep if we can, just to avoid a burn. Here we do get Sing, and that will allow us to heal up here without the threat of, you know, some status coming in. And now yet again, probably Return has this in a better range for us. I'm going to heal here. Any turn where I would definitely be getting KO'd is where I'm going to heal, then I'm going to Sing, and then I'm going to soft boiled. So this is just a really tedious fight, basically. Here I think we just have to start headbutting, but yeah, once again we get the burn, and I think we just have to reset there. Okay, so here's where I'm thinking that this might be a rollout spot, or it might be a dynamic punch spot, but I think that's more YOLO. Otherwise, Return is the play. I'm gonna go Return on the basis that we could end up needing the rollout later, and I don't want to be in a situation where I actually have to like forget rollout, so I'm gonna go Return here. I think this is just gonna help our ranges massively. We're already maxed out on friendship, so this is my strat. I've been putting this move off long enough, I think, and since we legitimately have maxed out power Return, I think this is the way to go. So here we can put Umbreon to sleep. Let's see the range with Return here. Looks like it might be closer to a 4-hit KO rather than like a 6-hit KO. Get a nice crit there even, and we take that Pokemon down. Very good. Here we get paralyzed, which I think is a reset. I think we have to not get paralyzed by Vileplume, and it doesn't just use Stun Spore there. So basically we're looking for no Sand Attack from Umbreon, no paralysis from Vileplume, and then we just have to get through the rest of the team basically. Confusion I'm not nearly as worried about, but when we just miss 3 Sings in a row, basically it's a reset. Okay, now Gengar Curse. We managed to land Sing yet again. We're getting very good Sing luck on Gengar, which is nice. Now we're to the Murkrow. Let's just see what Return does here. Oh, well over half. This is an easy 2-hit KO, so we're just going to take that Pokemon down then. Here I'm going to soft boiled once on the Houndoom just because I'm on below half health basically. Let's see what Return does to Houndoom. Oh, that's massive, massive, massive damage. So now we're just going to heal, and let's just see. Here, I don't think she knocks me out the next turn, so I'm going to Return here. And yeah, anything other than a crit will not one-shot us from that range. So now I'm going to go into my healing, basically to just get enough HP, because this looks like just a 3-hit KO against the Houndoom. So when I'm above half health, I will use Return. When I'm below half health, I will use Soft Boiled to heal up. But this now looks very, very reasonable, as long as we don't get burned. As long as we don't get burned, which will happen 10% of the time when he uses the flamethrower. But now it's on very low health, and at this point, oh, we get the critical hit. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, we were gonna knock it out on the next turn because it wouldn't matter. We were gonna be faster. And then what does it do? Critical hit. Come on. Come on. Oh, Karen. She is the ultimate Karen. I'm just saying. There's a reason nobody likes ladies named Karen. Sing on the Houndoom to keep it from hitting me. Now soft boiled. Stay asleep, buddy. Stay asleep for a long, long time. Okay, so now we get to go Return. We did good damage. It's still asleep. I think we can return from this level of HP. It's still asleep. She max potions right there, and that lets us set up our returns or our soft boils again. We put it back to sleep as well. As long as it's staying asleep, I think we can hit it here without any risk unless it gets the crit on the wake up. Like, that's what we're trying to avoid, is the crit on the wake up. We hit it, it stays asleep, and there we go. That's what we needed. Level 62 as we defeat Karen on minimum battles. That was tedious, but it was ultimately possible, and we have made it now to Lancey Boy. Lance is where last time I ended up with the strategy where I went rollout and defense girl, and this is what I think is going to be my strat here. Basically, Dream Eater we can relearn when we get to Kanto, and I don't think it's necessary here. Return we're just going to get rid of. We don't need return anymore. I already know we don't need return anymore. So let's just go for our defense curl rollout strat here. Obviously we set up all the defense girls here so that they can't even do good damage when they use hyper beam against us, and then we just win. That's what this is. So let's get into the Lance fight. I know I have this in the bag. We are coming in at level 62 unhealed. Rip. But that's okay. I put Gyarados to sleep. I'm going to use soft boiled here. Gyarados stays asleep. And now I'm going defense girl. All 6. It goes for rain dance. That's fine. We're just going to put it back to sleep. Defense curl until we get to +6. It gets a critical hit surf on us, and then it goes hyper beam. Okay. Hyper beam just means we can set up defense curl. Now we go soft boiled, and now we're ready to go into our real strat, which is the rollout. So rollout, hyper beam does nothing. We knock that Pokemon out. Dragonite number 1 comes out. Rollout one-shots. Dragonite number 2 comes out, rollout continues and one-shots. We get to level 63 as the Aerodactyl comes out. It goes ancient power, but we go rollout. And it's not going to be able to build up enough, I don't think. Hyper Beam did like nothing. Oh, we missed the rollout there. That's too bad. That brings out the Charizard, but it gets one shot. We're to the final Dragonite, rollout, and it just one-shots with a crit. Oh, yes, Lance, you deserve that. Yes, we have defeated the entire Johto section on minimum battles with this Lucky Egg Chansey. But not only did we defeat it on minimum battles, we are all the way up to level 64, which, I mean, that's literally like the level that you go in. When we did the normal Chansey and we went to red, we were at level 65. We slammed the 10 rare candies to get to level 75 in order to take on that fight. We could slam on all the rare candies right now and basically be at the same level. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That Lucky Egg, it turns this Pokemon into a beast. We're outspeeding basically everything. Are you kidding me? Lucky Egg Chansey is just, come on. Solo challenge god tier. Are you kidding me? I'm just saying this feels really good after doing the Berserker Gene Mewtwo. The Berserker Gene Mewtwo, not to spoil too much, but I'm just going to say that 56 resets that I have here through Lance on minimum battles makes the Berserker Gene Mewtwo look, yeah, really terrible compared to this Pokemon. Oh, that is just incredible. But here we go. We have made it. We're ready to get our SS ticket here, and we need to do just a little bit of housekeeping in this section. Number one, I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to use the Gyarados to knock out all of the Sages here because I need to get access to Flash just because I'm bad at routing in the dark. Someday I'm going to sit here and I'm going to learn, exactly which buttons to input in each dark section in order to guarantee that I get through it. I'll have to map them out. So here we go. We have made it to the final Sage at the top here. Obviously, a level 30 Gyarados just spamming Thrash is enough to one-shot all of these Pokemon. And we get through and we can get HM5 and we can pick up this escape rope just so that we can get out of here. Nice and easy. Cool. Now we need to go to the Whirl Islands in order to get one more rare candy. And interesting tidbit here, the Whirl Islands are actually based on the islands that are between the island of Shikoku in Japan and the island of Honshu in Japan, specifically between Tokushima and the kind of Kyoto, Nara, Osaka area. So basically this section of the Pokemon world is basically based on the, Osaka, Kyoto, Nara area of Japan. And it's actually close to where I live. I live on the island of Shikoku, so I have spent a little bit of time in Tokushima Prefecture, and if you ever go there, you can go on tours where you actually see the actual whirlpools. You have to plan it perfectly because you have to go at very specific times. so that, you know, the tides which cause the whirlpools are actually there. But yeah, that you can actually check that out. In fact, here, I'll show you guys. Sorry, we're gonna pop that up, and we're gonna pop this guy up, and I'm gonna move this guy over here. Nice. Sorry, you can see all the stream stats. But let's just see. So here is, if we're just looking at a map of Japan, right? So basically, if you're over here in Japan exploring, right, you've got like Osaka and you've got Kobe and whatnot. Basically, this is all a vine. These are like the islands. This is the big island, Awaji Island, but then there's a bunch of other islands over here that connect the main big island of Honshu, this one, to the little island of Shikoku. And if you're right in this area, especially, this is where they have all of the whirlpools. And basically, you go from Tokushima Prefecture, which is over here. I briefly lived in Kagawa Prefecture. I used to work in Tokushima Prefecture. And then you get all the way over here to the other side of the island, Matsuyama. That is where I live. So yeah, basically, it's close. It's a straight shot across the island to get over there. And then once you get over here on these bridges, that's where you can actually see the whirlpools. So like, you know, in this area, this picture actually shows it. Those are the whirlpools that are going in the sea in between these two islands. It just has to do with the way that the water drains in and out of the inland sea. So if you ever make your way over towards my neck of the woods, you know, check out the real world whirlpools. Anyway, you can go to the Whirl Islands. We are ready to go. And I think that we've basically got this one in the bag. The only question is just how high of a level do we actually get to going to red? That to me is going to be incredibly interesting because, like I said, last run we were level 75. If we're significantly higher than that, that's going to just tell us how good this item really is. Here, I think we're going to be just fine to get through these trainers, but let's start off with Lieutenant Surge. Just very interested to see how he goes here. So here, I'm going to go Sing first. Oh, we miss. No. Now, Thunder, of course, isn't doing much without a crit. We're just being paralyzed like every single turn. As a kid, I had this theory that when you were paralyzed and you like got hit by an electric type move, that it would make it more likely that you were fully paralyzed. Doesn't work that way, but that was my headcanon. Anyway, here on the Raichu, once we get it asleep, we just need to start setting up the rollout and hope that we aren't fully paralyzed. It's 2 hits to knock that one out. We get to the Electrode. It goes for double team. Clearly, he has the strats, but we are managing to hit. It goes Explosion finally, but doesn't do that much. Out comes the Magneton, which is resistant to our rollout, but we managed to hit twice, knocking that Pokemon out. Out comes the Electrode next. We're fully paralyzed, so we couldn't manage the hits there. Here, we're still managing to hit enough, though, that we knocked that one out. We're 2 Electabuzz. It goes Light Screen, and it's trying to go into Thunder from there. We managed to hit a couple of rollouts, one more, and sure enough, even with paralysis, we beat Lieutenant Surge on the first attempt. Not really ever in question. So here we can come and just get one rare candy, and then we're going to be ready to go on up, I think, to Sabrina. I don't think Sabrina's going to be hard in this at all. So let's just get up there and beat her nice and easy. We could also grab Psychic here while we're here just to have it, and I think we're good to go. So time for Sabrina. There's nothing to fight in the gym except the gym leader herself. Let's just see how this one goes. I think it's going to be an easy victory though. So Sabrina, attempt number 1, going Defense Curl. Oh, we get Sand Attack. No. Obviously, the run is over. We got Sand Attacked once. At least that's how it always felt in Gen 1. But we do knock out the first Pokemon. Oh, and we're getting Barrier from the Mr. Mime. He clearly has the strats. And then we get a nice miss from Rollout, of course. And with all the barriers set up and Reflect, this is actually a problem. We're going to have to soft-boiled here. And here, 1 accuracy drop is enough to basically guarantee that your Rollout always gets messed up. Now he Baton passes to Alakazam, and we take a bunch of damage there. Now we could go for Sleep Strats in order to just keep this Pokemon from hitting us every single turn. Here we go. Now with it asleep, we can go back for a Rollout, and we just need to hit multiple turns in a row. And there we go. We knock that Pokemon out. We get to level 86 as Mr. Mime comes out and gets wrecked. So we beat Sabrina on the first attempt. It was very tedious just because of the 1 Sand Attack, but it is possible to get through that fight. And with that done, I'm going to go take on Erica because she's just kind of out of the way of everything. And then we'll go and take on that whole power plant section. Or I will pick up the PP up here rather, because it could be useful later on. Maybe we need more rollout PP. I'm not sure, but I think we're going to be just fine as we are. So here we can just sing on Tangela, go Defense Curl, and now we're going to go into the rollout spam. 3 hits it looks like to get through the first Pokemon. Jumpluff will just get wrecked. That brings out the Victory Bell, which will also completely get wrecked. And now we're to the Blossom. This is the first time where we have to set something up new. It's going for Solar Beam though, which really doesn't do that much. We're just missing all the Sings. Are we gonna miss all of them? Yes, yes we do. Okay, in that case, let's just go for Rollout, which we should have done from the beginning anyway. It's an easy 3-hit KO. She crit us 2 times in a row and still just barely got us below half health. The Solar Beam is not scary for a Chansey at all. So we are able to move on. It's time now to go to the whole power plant section, just get that all worked out, and we'll go take on Misty. All right, so, and we can set up our rollout and get the easy 2-hit KO as we get to level 70 as we make it here to Misty. So that's insane. Misty at level 70 normally would mean that you had just massively over leveled. You know, you had grinded so many levels that you didn't need to take in your challenge. And instead here, we have made it to Misty at this level with minimum battles. That's, I mean, we're 89 battles into this, so it kind of makes sense that we should be massively over leveled, but this is over leveled like to a ridiculous extent. So here, let's just see how Misty goes. I'm gonna go for Defense Girl here, and then let's go for the rollout on this Golduck. Here we get a miss, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to reset up, and rollout gets disabled. So then I'm gonna go Sing, and I'm gonna go for the Soft Boiled, and then when we snap out of disability, I'm still gonna go Sing here on this one to keep it from disabling me. I want to be able to build up. So there we go. We're going to knock this one out after a couple more hits. Quagsire comes out. It goes Earthquake. We don't care. We easily knock that Pokemon out. Lapras comes out. If we hit the rollout on Lapras, I'm pretty sure it just gets wrecked. But unfortunately, we missed and it got to set up a Rain Dance. It's going for Surf, but that's not a big deal. We still knock it out in 3 hits. And then we miss Starmie. Oh, that's terrible. So Starmie looks like it's going to be a 3-hitter here now that we yet again are confused. So we're hitting ourselves in confusion. I think we just need to put this Pokemon to sleep and then we're just going to heal and then we should be good to go. So here we'll hit the rollout and it looks like it's going to take 2 more hits because of the miss. But there we finally beat Misty on the first attempt. Never in question, just a little tedious because of the misses, but we were able to get that to go. We're ready to deliver the machine part, and just like that, we have made it through this section. Nice. We're going to go get the expansion card, and now we can go and take on guys like Brock, which, while he should be harder with the whole rollout only strat, we found he wasn't actually that bad last time. So I think this is going to be perfectly fine for us. So let's fly back to Vermilion, where we can now go and take care of this Snorlax here. Yes. So I'm going to go up to Brock first. This is a spot where we have to get through this set spinner, and I missed. I mistimed it. Oh, come on. Beedrill guy really wants to fight. In fact, I'm going to go down to Viridian City first. After I get through Beedrill guy once, I don't have to like reroute through him again, because that is the single most annoying trainer in this entire run, in my personal opinion, outside of the girl who's just outside of Tojo Falls. Why they placed these trainers to just be so incredibly tedious that you have to like dodge them, I don't understand. Oh, come on. We got through the first half, not the second half. Sorry, if this is at 1 times speed, I think it's pretty easy to dodge those trainers, but when you're playing at like 4 or 5 times speed, I think I'm actually playing at, 300 frames per second, which honestly, the difference between 4 times and 5 times speed is basically negligible in terms of like actual inputs and whatnot. So take that for what you will. Should probably just set to 4 times speed, but yeah, still, it's just incredibly tedious that they decided to program the game this way. Here, we're going to put this one to sleep to just prevent any more of those sand attacks. Since we're stuck using only rollout here, we managed to land 2 in a row. I think one more, doesn't quite do it, but there we go. Okay, we did take that one down. We get to level 71. I'm going to go heal real quick before I take on Brocky Boy himself. And this should be all right, I think. We should be just fine. Let's just see. So Brock attempt number 1 here. We're going to come in against the Graveler. We're going for Sing because it's also trying to roll out. Come on. There we go. We finally land the Sing. Now I'm going to go for a bunch of defense curls in order to increase my defense against their attacks, since generally we're going to be taking physical attacks, but even when we don't, it's going to be things like Surf that, you know, we're not too worried about. And look how many Sings we miss here. That is ridiculous. Here we do finally manage to get this one back to sleep. One more defense girl just to be safe. And now into our own rollout, which is going to build up a whole lot faster. And we are going to knock out that Graveler finally. Nice. Rhyhorn comes out and it is just getting one shot. Amistar comes out next and it basically knows nothing that we're scared of. Like it could go Protect here, I guess, to stall out PP, but it doesn't, so we're just fine. Onyx comes out and is getting pretty well wrecked here. And then we miss the rollout. So sad day there, but it doesn't actually do that much damage. Sandstorm is actually the scarier move here because of the fact that it does fixed damage based on our HP. So here I am going to heal up with Soft Boiled here just to get back to good healthy health so that we do not have to worry as much about that Sandstorm. When Sandstorm subsides, I wanted to try to put this one to sleep. Did not work, but we should still be okay if we can just build up the rollout enough. One more hit from rollout will take this Pokemon down, and then we miss. Come on. Here we put it back to sleep though. We can now Soft Boiled twice just to heal up, and then back to our rollouts. This is just about building up enough rollout to knock this Pokemon out, and then I think Kabutops is just a joke. We finally take it down. Kabutops comes out, we land rollout, and we one-shot. So yeah, you just have to be able to get through the Graveler, really, and the Onyx. They're just the kind of tedious ones there, but we do get it to go. So cool. That brings us back to Viridian City. We can just heal up really quick here, and then we're headed south. We got to go see Blue. We got to go see Blaney Boy, you know, talk to him about Tombstoner and things like that. And Janine, you know, she's holding down the fort, but I don't think she's going to do much against us. Anyway, we have made it. Blue is going to run away from this Pokemon. He's like, what is this? Level 71 on minimum battles. Are you kidding me? And as we get to the morning, he's about to be mourning the loss of his Pokemon, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, for now, it's time to get over to Blaney Boy. I think we got this one in the bag. Let's go. So Blaine is going to lead off with his Magcargo, Sing, then we can go into our Defense Curl, and now into the rollout. Of course, it's neutrally effective here. Or is it super effective? It is super effective, yeah, because Rock doesn't resist. So we wreck that Pokemon. Magmar also gets wrecked. Out comes the Rapidash. Never stood a chance. We were faster than Rapidash here. And our hard-boiled Chansey here completely manages to get through that. No problem. On the Janine, I don't think Janine has any chance, but who knows? Maybe she is the one who just, you know, trolls us somehow with Toxic or something and manages to win. It would be kind of hilarious if we just lost to Janine. I've talked about in Gen 1 making a challenge where you have to lose to Bruno because he's considered the worst, like, major trainer in the game. I think we should make a similar challenge where you have to lose to Janine in Gen 2 just to make the hardest possible solo challenge imaginable. That could be a fun one. If we ever get to like 10k subs here, maybe I make the, you know, Janine must win challenge. Here we just two-shot against the Golbat or the Crobat, and then we miss on the Weezing and we get hit by Toxic. This is going to be a 3-hit KO after that, but we do knock that Pokemon out. Next Weezing comes out and gets one shot. Ariados comes out and also gets completely wrecked. That brings out the Venomoth. We hit rollout. It's going to be a 2-hitter, but its only hope was the double team and it didn't work. So we win easily, even with Toxic on. She just never stood a chance at all. And Janine in the anime too, like Koga told her to stand down. She was like Koga's sidekick in the anime when Nash and his group got there. And yeah, Koga was just like, I got this. Janine, get out of the way. I don't think she was named Janine in the anime though. I think that's a post name, but there was a female ninja in the gym in the anime. Anyway, we have made it all the way to Red. It is time to try to beat Red with our Chansey. Let's see how this goes with only rollout. So first up, of course, he has the Pidgeot that's level 56 and we're faster. I never thought I would have a Chansey that is faster, but we missed the Sing and then it uses Mirror Move to Sing on us. Are you kidding me? And that's all it wants to do. It just wants to use mirror move over and over again to sing against us. Then it gets a critical hit wing attack. And we just need to actually land our sing. Like, this is terrible. How many sings are we going to miss here? And how many times is it going to sing against us? Because that is ridiculous. Why does it land every sing and we miss every sing? There we go. We finally land sing here. We can go soft boiled in order to heal up. And now we're going to go for our defense curls here. So we got to set up all 6 defense curls. We're going to keep singing here. And once again, we miss and then it mirror moves and puts us to sleep. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It happens again. Oh, this is ridiculous. This fight is officially ridiculous because it's landing every single sing on us and we are missing every single sing on it, feels like. There, we finally get it back to sleep and we still have to set up more defense curl. We get it back to sleep again. This has already been the most tedious fight. Still, we do manage to get it asleep and heal up. Now we can go for the rollout, which looks like it's going to be a 3-hitter here. Still, we managed to knock that one out. We get to Alakazam. It goes Reflect, and it's going to take a couple hits to knock that one out, but we do get it down. With Reflect on, though, I don't expect Rhydon to take that much damage, and it sets up the Sandstorm. And here we don't have many sings left, so we're just kind of in a bad situation here with the Sandstorm on. Reflect does finally fade at least, and we get a heal up, but now we've got to set up Rollout again, and it would have been nice to get here with no Reflect on, and we miss a rollout there, so we don't get the range to knock it out on the next turn. It's going to take 3 more hits of rollout to take that one down. Still, it does go down. We get to level 74 as the Gyarados comes out, and rollout completely destroys that Pokemon. Very nice. Executor, we go rollout as the Sandstorm subsides, and that brings out the Arcanine. We go rollout, it goes Flamethrower, rollout, Flamethrower, and we get burned, and he goes for the full restore, and we get knocked out by the burn. We would have won if not for the burn there. That was bad luck. We've got this one. This is clearly just a matter of actually landing Sing, for example. We just got the worst luck in that last run. This time he's not like just mirror moving Sing every single time. So we're actually getting the chance to set up here like we should have before. He goes for a mirror move and uses defense curl. That's perfectly fine. And now we can go for the rollout, and it should just take 3 hits here to knock this one out. Sure enough, it does. We get to the Alakazam and we just one-shot that Pokemon. That's like the only Pokemon here that's faster than us. Once again, Rhydon is going to go Sandstorm on us. Nothing we can do there. And it's getting a critical hit Fury attack on us. But really, it's the Sandstorm that does more damage to us here. Oh, but he gets so many crits on us. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, I understand each chance or each hit of Fury attack has a chance to crit you, but that was a little bit too much nonsense. So here instead, I'm not going to set up the defense curl yet. I'm going to just go all in on attack right there. And we're basically hoping to run out of rollout right here on the Alakazam. So now we can go Sing on the Rhydon, and of course we don't get it. Okay, finally we do get it to sleep. Now we can go soft boiled to heal up with Sandstorm still going. Of course, we'll start setting up our defense curls here. Here we get hit by Earthquake, but we put this one back to sleep. Soft boiled to get back to full health, and let's just finish our setup here, just because we know some Pokemon will use physical moves against us. And now we'll go rollout, knowing that we basically need all of the rollouts to build up in order to knock out this Rhydon here. But, if we use up all 5 here, that's really not a big deal. So sure enough, we take that Pokemon down. We're going to just Sing on the Gyarados, and then we can go for the soft boiled right here as he goes for the full restore. And once the Sandstorm finishes, he goes Rain Dance. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to knock him out in a couple hits. He full restores. That should not even matter. Easy 1 hit right there. Executor gets completely wrecked. And that brings us to the Arcanine this time, still with rollout on. So we destroy that Pokemon this time. We're at level 74 as we managed to get through blue. So what was the effect of the lucky egg on this Pokemon? I can tell you right now, based on the previous run that I did with the Lucky Punch Chansey, we got to red at level 65, and then we used 10 rare candies to get to level 75. Here, on the other hand, we're at level 74 already. So once we use the 10 rare candies, we're going to be at level 84. That is 9 more levels in total just due to having this one item. That basically tells you everything that you need to know about this item. 9 levels at the end of the game is massive. It's huge. And we're so close to just gaining one more level even that, you know, we could easily have been nearly 10 levels higher with this Pokemon. This is obviously with the fast level up group. Other Pokemon wouldn't gain quite as many more levels. They might be more like 7 or 8 levels higher than their normal, but still that's a massive improvement for a Pokemon. And that could definitely be the difference between a Pokemon that beats the game easily on minimum battles and a Pokemon that really struggles to get through red. Here, I think we've just got this one in the bag. So let's just get right up to red. We're going to slam all the rare candies right here just to stunt with our massive level. And let's just see how he likes facing a level 84 Pokemon that did not take any optional battles to get there. That's the ridiculous part. You could have a level 84 Pokemon here if you just grinded a ton, but we didn't take a single optional battle in this entire run with our Chansey. Like anytime that we had an optional fight or a case where we could skip XP, we either used a different Pokemon to avoid our Chansey gaining the XP, as in the Sprout Tower, or we just, you know, caught like a wild Pokemon that, you know, was otherwise unskippable, like the red Gyarados or the, you know, Sudowoodo. We just run away from it, etc. This is the minimum amount of experience that you can possibly get on your Pokemon through the entire run. Outside of, I mean, we beat Rival 1. Okay, you can push that semantic with me, but, you know, otherwise, we have made it to red, minimum battles, and at level 84. So here now, we are still slower than the Pikachu. Nothing to do about that. It goes Charm. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm just going to set up Defense Curl and let's go for Rollout here. He is doing a lot of damage with Thunder. Still, we knock that Pokemon out. We get to Espeon. It hits Psychic, which really didn't do that much. Now it sets up Reflect, and we just need to land Sing here. And then we're just going to go for a couple of Soft Boileds. And then honestly, we should just need to finish our setup with Defense Curl here. And keep in mind, like that Charm effectively just means that our Rollout is now just normal powered rather than, you know, super powered. Okay, so we do have all of the Defense Curls on. We're just going to put this Pokemon back to sleep. I'm just going to Soft Boiled just to be safe. And then we'll start setting up the Rollout here because, of course, this Pokemon is using Reflect. Once the Reflect fades, we miss the Rollout. Are you kidding me? Still, we're going to build this move up. It's going to take a few hits to actually take this Espeon down, but it does go down eventually. We get to Snorlax, we hit the Rollout, and it's not a one-hitter here, and we get paralyzed. Are you kidding me? Oh, and I went for Sing, and it just went for Rest the same turn. Still, I actually think that this is kind of bad luck. Like, we could have gotten this situation where we got here and, you know, put it to sleep immediately, and that way we were able to just, you know, keep spamming our Rollout. Here with the paralysis, this gets a little bit harder. Still, we're going to try to build up. We're going to have to build up a lot, though, in order to knock this Pokemon out. Oh, and it gets the critical hit Body Slam to take us down. So, kind of bad luck on that one, honestly. And I'm apparently coming in not on full health, too. Rip. There we go. This time, we managed to get the Pikachu to sleep once. Sorry, I need to reset on that, though. So here, let's just make sure that we're actually at full health. Okay, so there we've recovered. And now let's try this one again. So here we're going to try to Sing on the Pikachu. We don't want to get paralyzed. If we get paralyzed, I think it's just an auto reset. So Charm, I think, is perfectly fine. Of course, Charm can also miss, and we are just missing all the Sings there. Sorry, I'm going to reset to try to get a run where we get the Charm miss turn 1 even, because that can happen a reasonable percentage of the time. Not happening here, clearly. I don't know, maybe it's too much to hope for the Charm miss, but definitely the Thunder paralysis, we just need to reset at that point. Okay, so we get the first Sing there, second Sing. He always goes for 2 full restores on this Pokemon. So there, now we can actually, you know, set up our first Defense Curl and go into Rollout. It's just that we would get a much better range there if we didn't get the Charm. So we'd like a run where he uses Thunder turn 1 and doesn't paralyze, which is not guaranteed that he paralyzes when he uses Thunder. It may seem that way. I think the AI is more likely to use Thunder turn 1 when it will paralyze, but it's definitely not guaranteed. And here we're both just, I just keep missing every single Sing. Come on. There we go. Finally. And now we just need it to stay asleep for a decent number of turns so that we can knock it out. And then we miss. Are you kidding me? Here we are building up damage only to then finally miss. And we are going down on that one because I kept using return, or I kept using rollout after the miss. Okay, not that one. I think Thunder is like a 30% chance to paralyze in this gen. Okay, this time we get the charm miss at the start of the fight at least, only to then get paralyzed because we can't land the sing. We just need to land the 3 sings in a row. That's what this all really is about, is landing 3 sings without getting, you know, hit by anything too bad. And now we just need to actually hit all of our moves. And instead he just has to wake up like immediately after that. He can stay asleep up to 7 turns. So that's what we're looking for here. This is just being incredibly tedious because he's just refusing to cooperate, basically. Clearly Red just is not, you know, cooperative today. Because sometimes, I'm telling you, sometimes he will just punt on this fight. I have seen it happen many times where you'll be sitting here, you'll be grinding away with a Pokemon. It looks impossible, and then you finally just get the run where everything works. And then you just completely destroy him. So Red is just kind of random here. Still, we should be able to knock this one out finally. Nice. Espeon goes for the reflect, and we nearly one-shot there. So here we're just gonna put this one to sleep. We're gonna set up the soft boiled. Again, Psychic is not really a move that we're too scared of. Like, yes, it can get a special defense drop, but we're not too worried about that. Our special defense is already really, really high. So here we're just going to try to put this one to sleep again, go for soft boiled, and now we're going back into our rollout. Sorry, did not mean to go for Sing there. So that allows us to take that one down. Snorlax comes out. We are building up the rollout here. He body slams and he gets the paralysis, and then he crits. Are you kidding me? The crit is just ridiculous at that point. And I feel like we're just getting trolled by this fight, honestly, because I feel like we should have already won. Like, that Snorlax is getting way too much luck against us. Here we are at least landing the 3 sings. Good. Now Pikachu, just stay asleep for a proper number of turns. Get a nice crit there. So we are knocking this one out this time. Okay, Espeon here is finally getting wrecked. DOD, oh gosh, thank you for the $5, man. Exit accuracy, seriously, it's what we needed. Okay, so here now we're to the Snorlax without any reflect setup, without rollout still in effect, and he immediately wakes up and body slams us. Are you kidding me? We get a nice crit this time, and then we miss. Are you kidding me? Oh, the luck. Like, the fact that the Snorlax wakes up immediately there is also incredibly trolly. That should not happen very often. This time we get through Pikachu with no paralysis and no charm. So we're actually going to do a lot more damage here as we knock that Pokemon out. That brings us to Espeon. It goes Psychic, and we immediately miss the rollout. Are you kidding me? We do manage to knock that one out. Snorlax comes out this time. We do way more damage as it goes Amnesia, so we get to knock it out the next turn. That brings out Venusaur. So finally we've made it to Venusaur as my system seems to be freezing up. Hold up. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Computer restored. For some reason, my system was starting to freeze up there a little bit. But here with Venusaur asleep, I can go ahead and use a soft boiled, and now it goes Sunny Day. That's perfectly fine by me because I'm just going to start setting up the rollout to knock that Pokemon out. That brings out Charizard. It goes Flamethrower, obviously powered up by the Sunny Day, but we wreck that Pokemon, and that means Blastoise is the last Pokemon out. We outspeed here, so I'm trying to put it to sleep with Sing. Very good. We can go soft boiled right here. Clearly Red was trying to cheese the fight now by freezing my computer, but I defeated him with a Control-Alt-Delete. Oh, and now we can go roll out on this Blastoise, and it's going Whirlpool. Clearly it thinks this is Tokushima. So one more hit should end this one, and we land it. And just like that, Red, you go down. I'm not transforming into Blissey here. No, no, no. We have done it. The minimum battles with the lucky egg Chansey. We got really bad luck on that Red fight multiple times. So we end up with 85 resets, which is a little less than what we had with the Lucky Punch Chansey. But yeah, it says 12 optional battles, but those were all just situations where we were fighting things with like other Pokemon, etc. No actual optional battles on our Chansey in this entire run. And yeah, that was fun. That was a whole lot of fun. Just just gotta say, we got those defense curls. Fuchsia Pokemart does have something for system freezes, but nobody knows it exists. This whole episode has been sponsored by the Fuchsia Pokemart. DAD Ogosh and I would like to deliver this very special message. Fuchsia Pokemart, no one knows it exists. So very nice, guys. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, the VOD will be up for channel members, so if you didn't get to see the whole thing, don't even sweat. We got a good 4 hours, 13 minutes here of just gameplay and commentary and all that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun playing it. Anyway, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys as channel members for popping in here, hanging out with me. DAD, oh gosh. Roy Merkel, it's good to see you. Nicely played, appreciate you. The lucky egg makes a massive difference in terms of the whatchamacallit, the levels. Yeah. I want to give a massive thank you to other people that I saw. Rob, I saw in here for a little bit. Luck Pup was in here for a minute. Mobile Gaming Chronicles was here hanging out for a lot of this, hanging out with me and dropping a lot of comments. So I appreciate you. Rob also was hanging out for a very long time. It looks like dropping the comments. Of course, we had Flamerai in earlier. We had Patrick Vogler in earlier. Guys, it's just incredible. GSC Pokemon Challenges, while it's only like at, just going on, like 3,500 subs, 3,400 subs right now, actually has more channel members than RBY Pokemon Challenges, that is closing in on 15k subs. And that's clearly because Gen 2 and people who like Gen 2 are just better than people who like Gen 1. You heard me, I said it. But no, I really do appreciate you guys. And I know a lot of you guys support on both channels, and I just can't thank you enough. It's really helping out here with the family. It helps out in terms of, when I'm busy, but, I tell the wife I got to do a live stream tonight. She says, all right, get in there and do it. She's on board. And I keep mentioning I'm getting closer to the goal of being a full-time PokeTuber between, memberships, ad revenue, hopefully, someday the Fuchsia Pokemart will also give me a little, upgrade in terms of their payments to me, the Fuchsia Pokemart. I think I want to be paid in, the casino coins for the game corner. That's what I really want. Anyway, that does it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys. Anyway, I had a lot of fun, guys. I will see you in the next one. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good weekend. And we will be back for another one next month, but just a ton of content in between. So I will look forward to seeing you guys then. Anyway, later.